If I may, I'm Tom Mansborough, serving as a special magistrate. How about now? I could hear me here. All right. Okay. I did want to say it's been 5 years since the tragedy in Parkland. It's a city out west. For those of you who don't know where it is, it's near Coral Springs and Pompano Beach, where 17 children basically and their staff were shot to death, and another 18 people were injured. I just like a moment of silence to remember these people. It's been 5 years today. Thank you. Okay.
Good morning. The first case will be on page 41, Inspector Gustavo Caracas. Case number CE 2105-0038. Property address 1201 Southeast 2nd Court. Owner Las Olas Regency Trust. Judith C. Doring, trustee. First heard June 30th, 2022 to comply by September 29th, 2022. There's one suspension noted on the agenda. One section is not complied at $100 a day. $4,100 have accrued. The city requests the full amount and fines continue to accrue. This is an order for reappearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Officer Caracas for the City of Fort Lauderdale, presenting case number CE 2105-0038 for address 1201 Southeast 12th Court. Your Honor, I'm happy to say that there is progress at this time with the wall that's being built, or the perimeter wall that's being built around this multifamily home complex. As of February 8th, inspection has been passed, and they're starting to work on the wall. The representative is here today to give you an update, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Hi, good morning, Your Honor. This is Roy Edwards.
You know, but I just want to remind people, I say this every time. Please don't call me Your Honor, because I'm not a judge. I was never appointed or elected to be a judge. That's the only person who gets to be called Your Honor. I'm called the Magistrate, Mr. Ansbro. I try to use Your Majesty, but people don't like that one. So we'll stick with the Magistrate, but don't call me Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Understood. Well, good morning. This is Roy Edwards with Toothaker. I'm representing the property owner today. So yes, as Inspector Caracas did mention, the wall did pass the inspection, and even since the pictures that are shown, the wall has been continuously being built. All of the old compromised parts of the wall have been demolished. The rebar has been installed, the foundation has been poured, and then all we really need is just a little bit more time to finish up the construction on the wall. There's no other permits that we need to get, and the property owner has already spent tens of thousands of dollars to comply this case. So all that being said, we just like to request a 90-day extension to wrap up the construction and comply this case.
90 days, you said?
90 days, yes. And to hold any fines accruing. So hold the fines and 90-day extension.
Let me ask if the city's amenable to that.
We do not oppose, Your Honor, now that there is progress.
No, Your Honor, sir.
Say that again, sir?
No, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
I know,
I'm sorry,
everything that
Magistrate.
break this habit.
Magistrate, we do not oppose for 90 days and a stay of fines.
And the state of the fines?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it's a happy Valentine's Day to you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you,
It'll
Magistrate.
actually be 91 days to, as we follow May 16th. Okay.
The next case is on page 12. Inspector Diego Santos. Case number is CE 22110244. Property address 417 Southwest 22nd Avenue. Owner Almorosa Guido and Alfredo Guido. Posted at property 12323 and posted at City Hall 13123.
Good morning.
Hello, sir.
I'm Inspector Diego Santos, representing City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement. Presented the case, it's CE 22110244. Property located at 417 Southwest 22nd Avenue. So on November 12th, I inspected the property and I found the following violations. 9-305B, landscape maintenance. The landscape of this property is not being maintained. It's a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of that and missing ground cover. 9-304, the driveway and parking on the law. There are vehicles and trailers parked on the grass in the law area, and the driveway is not properly maintained. 47-34-1A1, there was outdoor storage and no permit of land use. There's illegal land use of this property. There's items being stored outside of the property, including but not limited to propane tanks, ladders, containers, buckets, plywood, and other miscellaneous items. 47-34-4B1, that was complied. 18-12A was complied. So the property, the owner has been in contact with me. He's been cleaning up the property. And at this moment, the city is requesting 63 days for the property owner to come into compliance or face a fine of $25 per day per violation thereafter.
Okay. Yes, sir, your name and address?
My name is Alfredo Guido, 417 Southwest 22nd Avenue.
Okay, so they're giving you about 2 months to finish this up, right?
Yeah, I'm building a fence.
Okay, well, it doesn't mean you can, behind the fence, that you can store things outside, right? He's not able, is he able to do that?
No. Actually, I'll have to speak with the property owner about that. The property needs to be cleaned even with the fence, but I'll speak to you later.
No, I know.
Okay.
We spoke already.
Okay, so it's good that you made some progress here. You still have a number of things to get done,
Yes.
but, again, I want to say this for you and for everybody here. The city does not seek, the fines are here to get people's attention. It's
Right.
authorized by state law and the city ordinance to say, if you don't do things on time, a fine begins. The city doesn't want the money, I don't want the money, the city wants compliance.
Yeah.
That's what this is about, code compliance, okay?
Yeah, no, I was trying to help somebody out, and they, you give them the hand, they take the foot too, And
Understood, okay. All right, well, again, it's 63 days, but it'll be $25 per violation if any one or more is not done on time, okay?
yeah.
All right, are there costs with this?
You good? All right.
Are there
That's
costs?
it?
Yeah. Thank you, Magistrate.
I'm asking if there's costs associated with this.
Next case is on page 3.
No, there's three things that are still not done. So what's the 25? That's it? No administrative costs? Okay, thank you. Okay,
The next case is on page 48. Inspector Malaika Murray, case number CE 2203-0185, property address 4205 Northeast 22nd Ave. Owner Vito Labanestra. First heard June 14, 2022, to comply by August 16, 2022. There are 2 suspensions noted on the agenda. 3 sections are not complied at $50 a day. A total of $4,200 has accrued, and fines continue to accrue. This is an order for reappearance.
Yes, this is Inspector Murray for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance, and this would again be for, let's see here, the property at 4205 Northeast 22nd Avenue. Today we have the property owner here who would like to actually give an update in regards to the property. The property currently is not in compliance. We did have a research into some of the permits that the owner has been pulling in regards to the property, and he'd like to speak to the status of the property currently right now, Special Magistrate.
what can you tell me about this pool, however, is that,
It has been brought into compliance.
it is in compliance, that's very good to know, okay. Yes, sir, your name and address?
Good morning, Your Magistrate. Vito Labalestra, 4205 Northeast, that's my current address, Northeast 22nd Avenue, Fort Lauderdale. I was here a couple months ago to give an update. The pool was an issue. We took care of that immediately. We cut power to the home. We put a nice cover on it to take care of it. The only outstanding item is the roof. We're in the process of doing a major renovation in addition to the home. We're very close to having the permit. There's a couple of comments that are being addressed by our architect. We're hoping to be able to start in the middle of March. So we're requesting another couple of months extension. so we could do that.
Extension to get a permit and get it completed?
No, it's gonna be like a 9 to 12-month project, but there's an agreement that once we get the permit, because the permit will consist of a demolition, removing the roof and the trusses of the home, that would satisfy the violation.
So the home is vacant?
Yes,
Okay, but the pool is taken care of for sure.
100%.
All right. What do we do about the time he's asking for here?
Special Magistrate, the city is not opposed to allowing him 63 more days to bring the property into compliance in regards to the demolition permits and things that he has been pulling that we do show record on file, but he has been made aware that if that progress has not been taking place within that 63 days, that we will seek to impose.
Okay, but the fines continue to accrue, right?
No, sir, we have stayed the fines for now.
You have?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, that'll be the order.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Next case is on page 13.
One moment, Special Magistrate.
Yes.
We would like to request an order to reappear in that 63 days.
Okay, so bring it back?
Yes, sir.
The next hearing is either 56 days or 84.
56 or 84 days?
56.
Okay? Okay,
Thank you, Special Magistrate.
all right, thank you.
The next case is on page 13. Inspector Rafael Santos. Case number is CE 2207-0344. Property address 2512 Laguna Drive. Owner Forrest E. Patton Revocable Trust. Posted at property 12823. Posted at City Hall 13123.
Good morning, Magistrate Rafael Santos for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case CE 2207-0344. The address is 2512 Laguna Drive. I inspected the property on July 15th, 2022, and the following violation was observed. Violation Code Section 9-305B. The swell area is covered with artificial turf. An inspection report was issued on July 15th, 2022. I re-inspected the property on August 26, 22. I re-inspected on September 21st, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted on the property January 18th, 2022. A pre-hearing inspection was performed on February 12th, 2023. The violation remains as depicted in the photos. The city is requesting 35 days and a $25 per day thereafter.
Okay, yes, you are?
Good morning, Andrew Shine with Lockery and Chakas representing the property owner. We're good with the 35 days.
Okay, I'm going to raise the fine to $75 a day.
After the 35 days?
Yes.
That's
This has been here too long, and it's got to go.
understood. There's actually confusion whether artificial turf is already allowed. Spoke to engineering and they said it is under certain circumstances. So they've had this here for about 6 or 7 years, along with about hundreds of others in the city. But we'll get the permit going for that, speak with engineering and work with code compliance.
Okay.
Within the
so
35 days.
35 days or $75 a day, okay?
That's fine.
All right, thanks, Mr. Shiner.
Thank you.
Magistrate.
The next case is on page 23. Inspector Diego Santos. Case number is CE 22100-134. Property address 700 Southwest 24th Ave. Owner Mohammed Abdul Martin and Parvin Matin. Posted at property 123, posted at City Hall 13123. Is there a respondent here?
Somebody sign up for this? We proceeding in absentia or recall?
We'll proceed to the next case. On page 43,
43?
correct.
Okay.
Inspector Malaika Murray. Case number CE 2202-0738. Property address 4501 North Federal Highway. Owner Burdines Real Estate, Inc., in care of Federated Department Stores Tax Department. first heard June 14, 2022, to comply by August 9th, 2022. There are 2 suspensions noted on the agenda. One section is complied at $100 a day. $6,100 have accrued, and the city requests the full amount.
Good morning, Inspector Murray for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance. The case number is CE 2202-0738 for the property location of 4501 North Federal Highway. The case first came before the Special Magistrate on June the 14th, 2022, where evidence was presented and the magistrate found for the city. The violations were first cited on February the 22nd of 2022. A total of 14 re-inspections have been made at the property, and conversations have taken place with property representation, where they've been made aware of those violations and corrective actions for bringing the property into compliance. This case currently is in compliance as we speak, Special Magistrate, as of Sunday of this week. It is the city's position to impose the fines in full, but we do have the gentleman here who'd like to actually speak on behalf of the property.
Hi, I'm Tom Stevens with Macy's. My address is 11150 Cameron Court, Davie, Florida. My legal department, or the legal department for Macy's, is working on the fine mitigation process right now.
Okay. And the issue I'm going to have if it comes back before me is how long it took to get this done.
Yeah, it took a long time to get it done.
So,
It,
well,
it's,
you know, there's 2 magistrates, me or another one.
right.
Somebody's going to hear it, but I can tell you that I don't find the fact that it took so long to get this done by Macy's, one of the biggest department stores around.
Yeah.
It took so long to do it, so.
Yeah, well, it was done in 2 parts. The painting was completed months ago, and it took much longer to get the paving done.
Okay. Well, we'll look at it when it comes back. The good news is it's in compliance, so.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Special Magistrate.
Thank you.
No, it's in compliance.
This is for imposition though.
That's what you're seeking, that we impose the fine?
That's what he says.
Oh, yeah, yes, we'll do that. We're gonna impose the fine at this time. You know, we're gonna impose the fine, and then you can seek to do the reduction.
Okay, that won't preclude me from having the fines reduced?
No, there's a separate process, an application for
Okay.
lien mitigation, you know, a reduction of the fine, and I guess it'll stop at whatever the
And
number is.
we're currently at $6,100?
Is that
Okay,
where we are today with it? Yes, that'll be the amount that you'll seek to have reduced or abated to some degree.
right,
Okay.
okay.
But I'm imposing the fine. I guess technically I am supposed to put an order that says that. It's in compliance, but now here's the fine stops and there's the amount.
Okay, I think I understand. It works a little differently in other municipalities.
Sure,
That's
each
why.
one's a little different.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to make sure that we have clarity that it's currently I'm sorry, Supervisor Bass for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Just want to make sure that we have clarity that this property is currently now in compliance.
Right.
Okay, so you're saying that it's in compliance and you're gonna have them to come back for a lien
No,
reduction?
no, if and when they seek a lien reduction under a separate application, either myself or the
So
other.
we're imposing the full amount at this
Yes,
time,
we're
correct?
imposing the full amount today.
Okay, thank you, Magistrate.
Okay.
Thank you, Special Magistrate.
The next case is on page 24. Inspector Diego Santos, case number CE 221-00135, property address 704 Southwest 24th Ave, owner Ashami Pinder, posted at property 12323, posted at City Hall 13123.
Good morning, Special Magistrate. Inspector Diego Santos, represented the City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement, presenting case CE 2210-0135, property located 704 Southwest 24th Avenue. On October 20, 2022, I inspected the property and I found the following violations. 18-12 way, was complied. 9-305B, the landscape maintenance. The landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of the dead and missing ground cover in the swell area and next to the driveway. 9-304B was complied. 9-306 was complied. 18-1 was complied. And 9-280B was also complied. So at this time, the city is requesting 35 days for the property owner to come into compliance or face a fine of $25 per day thereafter.
Okay. Yes, sir. You are?
Show me Pender on 704 Southwest 24th Ave. What's the one that I didn't comply because I thought I fixed them all?
No, not yet. And if you'd like to, I can talk to you at the side and explain how you can bring the property to compliance.
Okay, you made significant progress, which is appreciated. It's 35 days, though, to get this remaining item done, or a fine of $25 per day then starts if it's not done at the time. It looks like you're going to get it done because you've done a really good job in addressing everything else. It's a really nice home, so. Okay, thank you, sir.
The next case is on page 20. Inspector Diego Santos, case address, case number CE 221-00114, property address 301 Southwest 24th Ave, owner 87876 Realty LLC, posted at property 12323, posted at City Hall 13123.
Good morning, Your Magistrate. I'm Inspector Diego Santos, represent the City of Fort Lauderdale, presenting case in CE 2210-0114, property located at 301 Southwest 24th Avenue. On October 19, 2022, I conducted the initial inspection in the property and I find the following violations. 18-12A was complied. 9-305B, the landscape maintenance. The landscape of this property is not being well maintained. It's not neat and not kept in well appearance. There are areas of dead and messing ground cover in the swell area and surrounding the property. 9-304B, the driveway maintenance and parking on the lawn. There was a vehicle parking on the lawn, and also the driveway, the asphalt driveway by the side of the property is cracked, and there are weeds growing through the driveway surface. 18-1, public nuisance and indoor storage. The items being stored under the carport included but not limited to refrigerator, indoor furniture, sofa, box mattresses, plastic containers, and other miscellaneous items. This property is creating a public nuisance and is being maintained in such manner that the property may be reasonable, advisedly affecting and impair the economic welfare of adjacent properties. 47-34-1A1, outdoor storage. There's legal land using this property zone RS18. There's outdoor storage including but not limited to buckets, cans, metal awnings, trash, and debris. It is being maintained in such manner that is creating a reasonable become infested with inhabited with rodents, vermin, and other wild animals, and may be furnished for breeding place for mosquitoes. Right now, the city is requesting 63 days for the property owner to come into compliance. I've been in touch with the property owner. He's cleaning up the property and looks way better than was before, but still there is some work to be done, Your Honor.
Okay, 63 days or a fine?
Oh, I'm sorry, 63 days or $25 per day per violation thereafter.
Per violation. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 4 violations remaining, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. Your name is?
Good morning, sir. I'm Omar Hastin, property 301 Southwest 24th Avenue. Yeah, I'm complying to the violation, but I just asked for some more time based on money shortage.
Okay, this is an investment property, right?
No, sir.
You live there?
Yeah, I'm moving in there, like living in there now.
Okay.
I bought it as an investment, but eventually things happen, so I'm moving in there. So
Okay.
that's why I'm still working on it right now.
Okay, well, they're giving you plenty of time within which to resolve these things.
Yeah,
But
so
they do need to be resolved, okay?
so I was asking if I could get a little extension time to walk.
63 days is enough.
Okay.
That's enough time to get these things done.
Okay.
If not, whatever's not done by the 64th day, the fine starts at $25 per day. Like I said before, city does not want the fines, they want the compliance.
Yes, sir.
It's for you and for the neighbors who live around you, so they don't have to deal with this. It hurts their property value. The junk stuff that is there is a problem because it draws vermin, undesirable critters, so all that's got to be cleaned up, okay?
Yes, sir.
63 days, $25 a fine if not timely done. Okay,
Okay, all right, thank you, sir.
all right, thank you.
The next case is on page 42. Inspector Rafael Santos, case number CE 2207-0431, property address 1540 Southeast 17th Street, owner Farrell Holdings 1540 LLC. First heard October 27, 2022, to comply by December 15th of 2022. One section is not complied at $25 a day. $1,525 have accrued, and the city requests the full amount and fines continue to accrue.
Okay.
Good morning.
Hello.
Could you read the property address, please?
We need a repeat on the property address.
1540. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Good morning, Magistrate Rafael Santos for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance Unit, presenting case CE 2207-0431 for property located at 1540 Southeast 17th Street. This case was first heard on October 27th, 2022. The magistrate ruled in favor of the city, and the property owner was ordered to correct the violation at this property by February 14th, 2023. The violation at this property has still not been brought into compliance. The case has been non-compliant for 49 days and a fee of $25 per day for a total $1,525 currently due. They do have an application on file as of December 1st, and some revisions were made yesterday, but that's where we are.
Okay, so it would be permitted if they get a permit.
Correct.
Okay. Yes, sir, you are?
Good morning, Special Magistrate. My name is Alexander Moore, representing Farrell Holdings, 1540 LLC. As the inspector has said, we're in for permitting on this issue. We've had some pushback with Will Scott getting original signatures and impression on the architectural pages for the trailer plans. That was then submitted yesterday, as the inspector has stated. We're expecting to receive a permit hopefully within the next 1 to 2 weeks, and so we can get this resolved. I'm asking for possibly an extension of however long you feel is appropriate so that we can get this resolved and go into compliance on the property of 1540.
Well, I'm not inclined to stop the fine on this until it's done.
Okay.
But let me see what he wants to do about it. Again, I just told him, I don't want to stop the fine on this.
Okay.
So I just let it run because it's been a long time to have this sit out here without a permit. I know they put it in December 1, but it's still, we can look at it later for a possible lien reduction, but I want the
Yes,
thing
sir.
removed.
Yes, sir.
Or permitted.
Or permitted, correct.
Okay, all right, so it'll continue to run.
Okay, and then that's meaning that once we receive the permit, that fee will stop and we're able to appeal that, or?
Right, so if he gets a permit, that stops the fine.
That stops the
And then you
fine,
can
and then he
apply
can
to-
come for the mitigation hearing.
Then you seek a
So
mitigation hearing. It's a separate process. It's a
Okay.
separate application. Just have to follow it exactly to qualify for it, okay?
Absolutely.
But try to get it wrapped up.
Yeah, we're expecting to have in, like I said, in 1 to 2 weeks. We got in the comment responses. There was 2 remaining comment responses on the permit BLD CMIS 2212001, and we're expecting to have that all taken care of within the next 1 to 2 weeks.
What are they planning to build here?
What's that?
What are they planning to build?
On that site is staying empty for now. We're actually building a Denison Yachts just to the east on 1550 Southeast 17th Street. So we're using 1540, which is under the same ownership as trailers.
Okay, so they're allowed to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, that'll be the ruling.
Thank you.
Fine continues.
Thank you, Magistrate.
Yes.
The next case is on page 37. Inspector Karen Proto, case number CE 2208-0251, property address 2301 Northwest 23rd Lane, units 1 through 2. Owner Arnona Blasch, first heard November 9th, 2022, to comply by December 7th, 2022. Two sections are complied at $50 a day. $1,100 has accrued, and the city requests the full amount.
Inspector Proto for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case and address as read into the records. This case first came before the magistrate on 11/9/22, where the evidence was presented and found for the city. These violations were first cited on 8/7/2022. A total of 8 inspections were made on the property. The case is now in compliance. The city is recommending full admin cost
How much is the admin cost?
of $534.
Okay. You said 8 inspections were conducted, right?
I'm sorry?
8 inspections?
8.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes, good morning. The moment I know about this violation, everything was taken care. The reason it took so long that I was out of the country and all the violation was sent into my property management that was taking care of the property before. That's the reason I didn't know about it. But the moment I know about it, everything taken care of.
Okay, well, the good news is it's in compliance, but the other news is that you owe $534
That's not
for all the
bad.
times you had to go back there to check on it. So that is due. When is that due by?
It's your call, Your Honor.
Okay. How much time do you need to pay that?
A month,
30 days, okay?
30 days. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on one second. Oh, did you state your name? I'm sorry.
Omri Blosh.
Thank you. Okay, so 30 days, is that the right number of days? 30 days to pay the $534 for her costs, okay?
No problem.
Okay, thanks for getting the property in compliance. It looks good.
The next case is on page 32. Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr., case number CE 2206-0319, property address 720 Northwest 14th Terrace, owner MPG 700 through 745 LLC, in care of Metropolitan Property Group. First heard August 9th, 2022, to comply by September 6th, 2022. There are 2 suspensions noted on the agenda. 2 sections are complied at $50 a day, and $7,900 has accrued. The city requests the full amount.
Okay, tell me what a suspension means.
Excuse me, Supervisor Davila is presenting.
Okay, Mr. Davila, what does a suspension mean? That the fine stopped for a period of time?
Yes, usually, Special Magistrate Julio Davila, co-compliance supervisor. Yeah, typically, when there's a suspension of fines, as one of the orders you had earlier today, sometimes during a continuance or request for reappearance or so on and so forth, sometimes the fines do get suspended during those periods of times.
Period, though. Then they resume.
And then they resume
Okay.
after whatever that set date is.
Okay.
That was given.
Okay. So the city seeks the full amount of the $7,900.
Yes, sir. I am presenting on behalf of Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr., the aforementioned property. This case was first heard on August 9th of 2022, where the magistrate ruled in favor of the city and the property owner was ordered to correct the violations at this property by September 6th, 2022. Two 10-day extensions were given, one on October 11th and the second one on December 13th of 22. And the violations were brought into compliance on December 14th, and we are requesting the full amount of the fines.
Okay, but the property is in full compliance now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, your name?
My name is Xiomara Barra, and I represent an MPG.
Okay.
I'm the management company.
I'm sorry?
I'm with the management company.
Okay, so again, you're in compliance, but you've got $7,900 that the city says you owe.
Can we reduce that fine?
You would have to go through the process of, like I talked about before, application to seek to reduce the fine. I won't do that today.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay? Okay.
You're imposing the fine.
I am imposing the fine, yes.
Thank you, sir.
The next case is on page 27. Senior Inspector Manny Garcia, case number CE 2212-071. Correction, the next case is on page 45, Senior Inspector Manny Garcia, case number CE 2212-0703, property address 511 Southwest 11th Street, owner Adi Sharvit, first cited December 25th, 2022, to comply by December 25th, 2022. One section is complied at $200 a day. Another section is complied at $400 a day. A total of $600 has accrued. The city requests the full amount. The appeal deadline was January 9th, 2023, and no appeal was received.
Okay, yes, sir.
Good morning, Magistrate Ansbro. So before we begin this series of cases that are particularly to both 511 and 513 Southwest 11th Street, I do want to point out that for 511, we have one case with multiple violations, and then on 513, we have multiple cases with other violations. Granted, no appeal was submitted for these cases, and both properties are also here for a suspension of vacation rental license. Both presentations regarding the suspension of license state all the violations on each individual case. We can present them one by one, or we can present them all just in one series.
You have to present them by case for the record, for clarity of the record, please.
One by one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So let's do this one. Let's make it so these people understand, and anybody else in the audience, that if you did not file an appeal, which is authorized, and the instructions are very clear how to do that, I can't reduce these fines, these citation fines. I don't have the ability to do that. And if appeal was timely filed, I would have the ability to reduce the fines if the circumstances warrant, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Your Honor.
All right.
Hold her in contempt. Eh? All right, go ahead. So this is $600 total for this particular case.
I'm sorry?
$600 total on this particular case.
Yes, sir.
Is being sought.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Magistrate.
All right. Gentlemen, who's here for the property?
So I am Arthur Pero. We're representing the owner Adi Sharvit. We are basically the property manager, and this is Antonio Pompa.
This is who?
Antonio Pompa, representing 511 and 513.
Okay. Okay. So as I just mentioned, these fines are going to have to be paid. This is the penalties for the citations.
Yeah.
$600. They're due when? Do I say when they're due or what?
So, Your Honor, just for clarity of the record, because there are other violations that we're going to hear today. So for the record, there are two violations that comprise this particular citation.
Right.
As noted in today's agenda, and as noted also, and as read into the record, no appeal was received timely. So under the City Code, Chapter 11-19, as Your Honor has stated, there has to be a finding that there is no discretion with regard to the finding and or the imposition of fines. So we would need Your Honor to find that that the violations existed and the fine will be imposed.
Okay, and you're telling me that the fines did exist, the violations did exist for each of these two violations?
Well, I can't do that.
I'm asking
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yes, Your Magistrate.
Okay, all right. All right, so I'm going to impose those. We'll figure out when they're due to be paid, but they're going to have to be paid. 1 second. So I'm imposing the fine. Okay. Imposing the fine, for those 2 fines for that case. We're going to move on to your other cases, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, next case?
Next case is on page 27.
You still have more cases?
Page 30, you have more cases. Page 33.
Page 33?
You have to.
The next case is on page 33.
Okay. Okay. And there's 3 cases here. Which one are we looking at?
Senior Inspector Manny Garcia, case number CE 23010206. Property address 513 Southwest 11th Street. Owner Adi Sharvit. First cited January 7, 2023 to comply by January 7, 2023. One section is complied at $15,000 a day and $15,000 has accrued. The city requests the full amount. The appeal deadline was January 22nd, 2023, and no appeal was received.
All right, Inspector.
Good morning, Your Magistrate Ansbro. Sorry.
Yeah, we can't, she won't learn.
So as stated on the record, the property was issued a citation by Officer Aguilera on January 7th, 2023, under Section 18-1, stating that there's a large gathering at this vacation rental property that is creating a public nuisance. The public nuisance threatens or endangers the public health, safety, or welfare, may adversely affect and impair the economic welfare of adjacent properties. More than 20 vehicles parked across several properties, vehicles parked in the grass and right-of-way, commercial truck parked on residential properties, as you can see per the photos depict. At this time, city is requesting the imposition of fines to the sum of $15,000.
Okay. Do you have anything to say, gentlemen?
Yes, actually, that night I went straight myself there. Actually, I called Garcia first to ask for advice because I saw everything on the cameras. Everything was out of control. Actually, the guests were not complying to all rules to the house. So I went there. I called 911 2 times, and when I get there, like everything was, how it is on the pictures.
Everything was what?
Like it is on the pictures. It was a fully mess, like a lot of cars. So I tried to solve it, but it was really, really bad.
Okay, well, it sounds like you picked the wrong tenant for this vacation rental at this time, but I am imposing this fine. I want the message out there that when people have a vacation rental and they're not on top of who they rent to, and they didn't make it clear in the rules, the price is going to be paid by the person who's doing the business in a residential area. This is intolerable. Intolerable. A huge party like this that the rest of the neighborhood had to suffer through. So that's, so that's why the city's imposing the $15,000 fine, and I'm imposing it to get the message across to you and anybody else that does this.
Actually, that was a funeral thing. It wasn't a party.
It was a what?
It was a funeral.
A funeral?
Yes.
Well, you don't have a funeral that brings 20 cars parked all over the neighborhood. This is not a place where you do something like this. This was a vacation rental, not a funeral home. So I'm imposing the fine. If you want to seek to try to get it reduced, there's another process to do that. You didn't seek an appeal, or whoever was doing this, for this case today. So I couldn't do that even if I wanted to, and I don't want to.
Okay.
And if it comes back to me, I will not do that.
All right.
It's up to you to monitor who is renting your property and being on top of them. So as soon as this got bad, it should have been stopped and all these people are gone. Sorry for it's a funeral. It's not where you do a funeral celebration or memorial. Not where to the detriment of a neighborhood. Okay? All right, I'm imposing that fine. Correct? Okay? Next.
Okay, next case, also on page 33, Senior Inspector Manny Garcia, case number CE 22120377, property address 513 Southwest 11th Street, owner Adi Sharvit, first cited December 14th, 2022 to comply by December 14th of 2022. 2 sections are complied at $200 a day. $400 has accrued. The city requests the full amount. The appeal deadline was December 29, 2022, a new appeal was received.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Magistrate Ansbro, for the record, Senior Officer Garcia, presenting case CE 22120377, reference property 513 Southwest 11th Street. Two citations issued December 14, 2022, under section 15-275, parentheses 5. The responsible party failed to respond to the property within the 1 hour being notified by a vacation rental occupant, law enforcement officer, emergency personnel, or the city. Section 15-278, parentheses 5, parentheses A. Excessive noise was detected from the permissible limits emanating from the subject property at a distance of 25 feet after 10 p.m. This case is 50 feet prior to 10 p.m. Please refer to the photos submitted as evidence for the findings. This time, city is requesting the imposition of fines to the sum of $400.
Okay. Any response to this?
So basically, the numbers were not updated. So we've been called. Like,
I'm sorry, what?
Like the phone numbers, our phone numbers were not updated by, I think, the city, and we now updated the numbers. But we've been here like late night, I guess, like after midnight. But yeah, we ended up coming too late because we did not receive the call. But we ended up like stopping the noise around midnight.
Okay, well, I'm imposing these two fines, $400 total. Again, not showing up on time is critical. Noise is even worse. Again, you're not monitoring these properties. I think when you leave here, you're going to realize, yes, you'll be monitoring these properties if you're even able to do it for a while. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that since like 1 month and a half now, we have like people watching the cameras like 24/7, and we have like no problems since 1 month and a half, and we've been really tough with the guests, with the screening. So for now, we didn't get like any problems since 1 month and a half.
So far, you got a number of violations here that are completely unacceptable. Completely. What else do we have? I'm imposing those fines, right?
We have 3 more cases to go.
Okay, I'm imposing those fines, right? Okay.
Yep. The next case, also on page 23, Senior Inspector Manny Garcia. 33. Senior Inspector Manny Garcia, case number CE 22120704, property address 513 Southwest 11th Street, owner Adi Sharvit. First cited December 25th, 2022 to comply by December 25th, 2022. One section is complied at $400 a day. $400 has accrued. The city requests the full amount.
Okay.
The appeal deadline was January 9th, 2023, and no appeal was received.
Okay.
Magistrate Ansbro, for the record, Senior Officer Garcia, presenting case CE 22120704, reference property 513 Southwest 11th Street. Property was issued a citation by Officer Rachel Moore on December 25th, 2022, under section 15-275, parentheses 5, for failure to respond by the responsible party. This time, city is requesting the imposition of fines, sum of $400.
Okay. Any response to this one?
I mean, most of the valuations happened the same day. Can you confirm?
The what?
Like we get like 3 valuations per house the same day.
This was
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah. No, it's the same.
Okay. Yeah,
No, they're all different days.
Okay, I'm imposing that fine as well. Next.
The next case is on page 27. Senior Inspector Manny Garcia, case number CE 22120719, property address 511 Southwest 11th Street, owner Adi Sharvit. This is a request for vacation rental suspension. Personal service was done on February 1st, 2023, and posted at City Hall January 31st, 2023.
All right, Magistrate Ansbro, for the record, Senior Officer Garcia, presenting case CE 22120719, reference to property 511 Southwest 11th Street. City's bringing this property forward in accordance to section 15-282, parentheses D, parentheses 1.A, as there is a qualifying number of violations at this vacation rental property, to request a certificate of suspension for 180 days before the special magistrate. On December 10th, 2022, the subject property was cited for the following violations under case CE 22120267, 15-278 parentheses 3. The reference to solid waste containers were improperly stored. 15-278 parentheses 1 parentheses E. Vehicles associated with the subject property are parked in the neighbor's yard and obstructing sidewalks. 15-278 parentheses 5 parentheses A. There's noise emanating from this vacation rental property, which is outside of the permissible limits. Plainly audible noise was detected up from 50 feet from the property line. Again, on December 25th, 2022, the property was cited for the following violations under case CE 22120703, 15-275 parentheses 5 for failure to respond by the responsible party, 15-278 parentheses 3 for the solid waste containers being improperly stored. As per the violations read into the record, the city is requesting the suspension of vacation rental certificate under VR-22020055 for 180 calendar days beginning today, February 14, 2023.
Response?
As I said, like since 1 month and a half, we've put in actions, and we didn't get any problems since this time. So, I mean, we act in good faith, and we hope that you're gonna understand this.
Okay, look, the reason for these things is if you hit a certain number of qualifying violations, I have the power to suspend your ability to have a vacation rental here, and I'm doing that. The message has got to go out to you and anybody else who operates these vacation rentals. You can do this under state law and city ordinance, but you strictly have to follow what you are allowed to do. So taking out the trash cars and not taking care of it, not responding on time, having people park all over the place, anything else, and they add up to 3 or more violations, means you're going to lose the right to use this for 6 months. I recommend you do not try to beat the system, because it will go badly for this owner if that happens. I'm suspending the ability to use 511 for 6 months starting today. Next case.
Next case, also on page 27, Senior Inspector Manny Garcia, case number CE 22120723, case address 513 Southwest 11th Street, owner Adi Sharvit. Personal service was conducted on February 1st, 2023, and posted at City Hall January 31st, 2023, and this is a request for vacation rental suspension.
For the record, Senior Officer Garcia presenting case CE 22120723, reference to the property 513 Southwest 11th Street. City's bringing this property forward in accordance to section 15-282, parentheses D, parentheses 1.A, as there's a qualifying number of violations at this vacation rental property, to request a certificate of suspension for 180 days before the special magistrate. On December 10th, 2022, the subject property was cited for the following violations under case CE 22120268, 15-278 parentheses 3 for solid waste containers being improperly stored on the property, 15-278 parentheses 5 parentheses A. There's noise emanating from the vacation rental property that was detected beyond 50 feet from the property line. Again, on December 14, 2022, the property was cited for the following violations under KCE 22120377, 15-275 parentheses 5, failure to respond by the responsible party within 1 hour, 15-278 parentheses 5 parentheses A. There's noise emanating from the vacation rental property detected from over 25 feet from the property line. Again, on December 25th, 2022, the property was cited for the following violations under case CE 22120704, 15-275 parentheses 5, failure to respond by the responsible party. Again, on January 7th, 2023, the property was cited for the following violations under case CE 23010206. 18-1, there is a large gathering at this vacation rental property is creating a public nuisance. As per the violations read into the record, the city is requesting the suspension of the vacation rental certificate under VR-22020056 for 180 calendar days beginning today, February 14, 2023.
Okay, so these properties are right next door to each other, right? Okay. Yes, any response to this one? All these violations, that's why you lose the right to have this for 6 months. So I'm imposing this as well. This is suspended immediately, starting today, for 6 months. You need to go back to this property owner or whoever's helping to manage this thing and get a handle on this if you're going to continue to do it. Because if you continue to do it and bring it back here, the next thing is that we revoke it completely, right? It can be taken away completely. Am I right?
The next is for a year.
A year. You lose it for a year. You're allowed to do this under the law, but you mustn't do it, like I just said, completely within the law. That is as simple as putting the garbage carts back. But the noise is intolerable. The parking is intolerable. I've just said that before. You can get the message. This one also will start immediately. No right to use it for a vacation rental for 6 months starting today. Okay? All right, gentlemen, thank you. Yes. If you're going to speak, you need to come up.
Thank you, Magistrate Ansbro.
Thank you, sir. You did a nice job on this.
Thank you.
Hi, sir.
Who are you, number one?
My name is Kaylee.
Kaylee what?
Kaylee Arn, sorry. I'm a real estate agent. I work with a lot of investment properties, and I'm just kind of curious about this case and kind of the laws. If they decided to sell both of these townhouses, would this sanction follow the townhouses to a new ownership?
I'm going to have to ask the attorney for that.
Right, and this isn't a question and answer forum, and we do not provide legal advice to private entities.
Okay.
So the question's sort of out of order.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Next
All right, folks.
Next case is on page 47. Senior Inspector Dorian Kaloyan, case number CE 2209-0334. Property address 721 Southwest 7th Ave. Owner 721 Tarpon River LLC. This case was first heard December 13th of 2022. One section to comply by December 23rd, 2022. Next section to comply by February 14th, 2023. Two sections are not complied at $50 a day. A total of $5,300 has accrued and fines continue to accrue. This is an order for reappearance.
Good morning. Senior Inspector Kaloyan for the City of Fort Lauderdale, and the case number is CE 22090334. And the case address is 721 Southwest 7th Ave. This property was first inspected on September 13th, 2022, and presented to the magistrate on December 13th, 2022, where the magistrate found for the city and ordered 10 days to comply or $50 per day thereafter for violations 1812A and 18-1. And for all remaining violations, it was ordered 63 days to comply or $50 per day thereafter. And also, yes, there was a mandatory reappearance for today. A pre-hearing inspection was conducted on February 13th, 2023, and the violations remain as depicted in the photos for the record. The city is asking for the full imposition of fines, which continues to accrue. And also, it is noted that there is a permit in the system. However, that wasn't applied for until like a month later, and it is not, it's still in the review process, so it has not been issued.
A permit to do what?
For the exterior, the building he's going to, well, I'll let him speak.
Okay, is it a vacant building?
It's a vacant property, and I believe he's in process or in plans to demo it.
Oh, okay, all right, yes, sir.
Good morning, my name is Rafi Anak, I'm one of the partners of the property. A couple of things regarding the trash. You had given us 10 days to remove the garbage that was on the back end of the house. There was like a small shed, and under like a port, it was full of trash, which some of those pictures depicted. We took care of all of that right away, and I brought some documentation to show you guys. I sent an email to Inspector Kolonian once we took care of it, because we sent the company right away. I put, "Good morning, Inspector Kolonian. We removed the garbage around the house, including the trash under the back porch, and removed the broken shed that was against the fence like you asked. Below are timestamp photos. This should clear out the trash violation that we had 10 days. Please confirm." We also boarded up the rest of the house like the magistrate asked for while we wait to get the demolition permits approved. And I can give you this email. I also tried calling her office, and I never got a call back. 2 days later, I sent her another email saying, "Good afternoon, Inspector Colonian. I just tried calling you again since I didn't get a response to my last email or voicemail. I just want to make sure we're not getting daily fined." I sent the pictures timestamped, so I don't know why I've been charged these, and I'd like to give this to you.
You inspected,
Excuse me
right?
one second. I just need to back up for 1 second for the record. We're not here to impose because we're here on an old business for.
Well, I shouldn't have got daily fines to start off with.
The fine continues to accrue though, right?
Correct.
Okay, and you're
Should
saying.
have never started.
You inspected yesterday?
Well, we had, give me 1 second. Was there an extension on here? So no, we were given the days, so he had until the 63 days for the 9306, but the other ones, the ones that were for 10 days, the 18-1 and 18-12, so those are accruing daily. And then the other one would have been for today, I believe, is the 63rd day.
Again, the 10-day one is that's right there. It's timestamped. It's pictures. We hired a company to remove all the trash. We did. I tried to communicate that to the inspector. I never heard back from her. I don't see why we have an accrued amount of violations if I took care of exactly what the city asked me for. As far as the demolition, we'll talk about that next, but I want to get this taken care of first.
So if you can stop right there, that's a picture from yesterday, February 13th. You can clearly see that there's overgrowth.
There's no trash there.
Trash and debris, and
not.
it has not been cleared from the back on the sides.
That's not the same of the original picture that shows the back porch full of literal trash.
Hold on, this is your picture, Inspector, from yesterday?
Inspector Rafael Santos went out there yesterday for me and took this photo.
So this is the overgrowth and there's still.
That's very different than the.
Excuse me, there's still detritus in the backyard that's visible.
So originally, when we were doing this case, there was, it wasn't listed a no trespass. So prior to this inspection, when I had gone out, prior to this inspection, it was posted a no trespass in the front, so I did not go to the back. However, you can see that picture clearly from the right-of-way that it's not in compliance. And then the burden of proof is on him to, get this complied. However, we don't even need to, you can see it from the side, so.
I'm just talking right now, not about the demolition, about the building itself. I'm talking about the
I'm not talking about the demolition, which will be a good thing at some point.
Right, I'm talking about
Hold on, I'm talking about compliance today. You did remarkable progress in cleaning it up, but it's still not done, as she just showed on that one picture.
Which picture shows the debris? That's a little bit of grass. That's not the same of
where the palm tree is and all the overgrowth beyond that, and then there's whatever that other stuff is.
Is there a picture of the backyard? You have it there. I don't know if she has now. Or
I see it.
You saw the picture that I sent you?
Yeah, but I see this picture here.
Yeah, that is the back.
Taken yesterday.
That's not the backyard. That's
Yes,
just
it
the
is.
side beside the fence and the house.
The palm trees, there's the fence you can see behind the palm trees that goes into the backyard.
Did you see the pictures, Mr. Magistrate, that I
Yes,
give
I
you?
see remarkable progress in
Right.
getting the junk there.
Right.
But
Again, you guys asked
this
us.
picture, your picture shows the same thing hers does. It's not done. It's
The
not done.
pictures of the trash, not of the trees that are going to get part of the trimming once the
Magistrate,
demolition gets done.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So the ordinance is very clear that there can't be trash and debris on any part of the property, including the swale area. So even if it's just on the side or a little bit in the back, it's in violation.
So the city doesn't care if I worked hard and complied and removed the trash? You're finding me because there's a little bit of weeds on the side of a house that we're going to demolish?
I wouldn't say it's a little bit of weeds. I said it's not, you just haven't completed what you're supposed to do.
Is there a before and after of the backyard?
Excuse me, you made remarkable progress and you're not done. Now, what you need to do is get it done. I'm going to accept this for your file, and you're going to be able to, at some point, seek to reduce the fine. And I might be willing to look at the circumstances and see that you did it. But you've got to finish up what you started to do. You did a lot of work. I get it. It's a distressed property, but it's not finished.
Okay,
So-
I understand that. As far as the demolition, since you guys asked us to demolish the house and have it done by this date, it took us a month, of course, to get a general contractor and all the documents that the city requires us to submit, which we did submit. We have quite a few of the people have already approved. Building review has approved, electrical has approved, engineering, landscape, and mechanical have all approved. We're still stuck with a couple different ones, with plumbing and one other one, which we hope to have approved and demolished. I think it's going to take another 30 to 45 days to complete the city takes its time in reviewing, and we get the information and we go back and resubmit to the city. It's just the process that it takes. But I brought this if you want to see it, which is the status application of the city permit.
Okay.
So I'm just asking for an extension for the demolition. If I can get 30, 45 days, I think the final approval will be done by the city, and we'll have the house demolished.
So I did check the permitting, and as I stated in the beginning, it has been applied for, but it was applied for January 24th. We were here in December, and it's still in review. It's not been issued or anything like that.
It took a month to get the permit, get a contractor, get everything the city asked for.
I get it. She's pointing out that we're delayed.
Takes time.
For whatever your reasons are, for a month. So I'm gonna let the fines are continuing to accrue, right?
Can we get the stay on the fine so that they don't keep accruing
If they wish
until?
to do that. I'm not sure they want to do that.
Good morning again. Magistrate Supervisor Bass for the City of Fort Lauderdale. I just want to get clarity on two things and just make a note. Previously, the property had a no trespassing sign on it, which prevented the inspectors from going all the way on the property to see if the violation still exists or whether or not it came into compliance. So either way going forward, the property owner is going to have to make two things clear. That if he wants to show that he has complied, you're going to have to allow access for the inspectors to come on the property, whether you meet them there or not, to show that you came into compliance with the 1812A, which is to remove all of the trash, rubbish, and debris, and to cut the overgrowth, not just in one particular area, but on the entire property. Or if you're going to go forward with the demolition, make sure that the permit is issued and you're showing forward progress that you're actually demolishing the property. So what we're asking now, what is the time frame that you're going to need in order to get the actual issuance of the permit for the demolition?
Well, actually, I can answer that. So parenthetically, but relevant to today's proceeding, Your Honor, there's also a building case that's already been heard, and there's already been an order entered. So there is a requirement for the property owner to demolish with a deadline at the end of March, or the city will be demolishing the property.
Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, awesome. So we're fine with 63 days?
I think it's less than that.
Yeah.
March 30th, I think.
Is there?
63 days.
Can I ask a
Okay,
question?
so we're 42?
42 days.
42, so the city will demolish.
Okay, so we're gonna give an extension for that part of it, but not for the overgrowth.
No, not for the
Has to
overgrowth.
be
We're going to
addressed.
ask for the fines to continue to.
The fine's gonna continue on the overgrowth
Absolutely.
until you get it done, which means you could probably get it done today and stop the fine on that. There's not that much to do.
Well, we haven't imposed the fine yet. This was in order to reappear on old business. So the city still has to bring the case back as a massey, Your Honor, to impose. But the fines will continue to run.
Okay.
Correct.
Not imposed.
For the 18-1 and the 18-12.
Correct.
All right, so do you know what you have to do?
Yeah, and I have a question. Well, first of all, about the trespassing sign, what happened was, the city can go whenever they want. I sent pictures to the inspector, as you saw, but she never contacted me, so I had no idea, number one. And number two, we got a call up from the police saying that there was some people that were trespassing, and they recommended us that we put no trespassing signs and call them, and that's why we put the sign. It was just that suggestion from them. The inspectors can go in whenever they want. I never heard back from her. And as far as the demolition, why is the city threatening, I'm going to demolish it for you if we're in the process of doing it takes 90 days typically to get a permit and we're not even at that 90-day mark.
Not a demolition permit. No, it doesn't.
To demolish a
Doesn't take 90
property.
days generally for a demo permit.
It has in the past. Just so you're aware, usually it takes 3 weeks just to get the FPL and TICO letter that there's disconnecting of service. I mean, there's just things that take time. I'm going as quickly as I possibly can to demolish the property. I have no reason to keep it there. You asked me to get rid of it. I want to get rid of it. I'm just saying if we're compliant and we're trying and we're showing that we're trying, why am I getting a dagger to the side with the fines? Just, stop the fines and we'll get it done. And it'll be much more difficult to reduce a fine of 10,000 than 5,000.
42 days to get the demolition permit and the work done, right? The site cleared in 42 days, am I right?
So as the attorney was saying, there's another case with the building department that has a time frame.
But they dovetail about.
It would be
demolition,
to
get
coincide
rid
for
of
the same time frame.
Right, so to comply this case and to comply the other case, it's not just a question of obtaining the permit, the demolition would
Has to be
actually
done
have
and
to
the site cleared.
occur. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's obviously, as soon as we have the proof permit, we'll demolish. We already have the contract.
Really, if it comes back to me, I'm willing to look at it to abate it if you
Okay.
get these things done.
Okay.
And you can recount it, because it might be the other magistrate. But you made a lot of progress, but it's got to come down. And so some things are out of your control, but
Right.
the things that are in your control is what I'm most interested in. That
So-
if you,
Okay. So question as far as you said, the overgrowth, if I get that grass cut today and I call the inspector to go out there and like this December 15th, she didn't go out there until 2 months later, now there's overgrowth, we're back to square one, you know what I mean?
So that's not true, Your Honor. But yes, he can call me, and if I'm not available, I'll have the area inspector, Inspector Santos, meet you.
okay, it's not that much to get done, but it
No.
needs to get done.
It got done and grew again.
And
grass.
again, I admit you made a lot of progress, and that's appreciated
All right.
by the city and me personally to see it done. But like everything else, we want everything done, clean the books, get the case over, move on with your lives, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
so again, I will look at it favorably if it comes back to me,
Okay.
depending upon how you do from here on.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
So
right.
I have
So what
till
am I
end of
doing
March to demolish it, basically, right?
What do you need for an order today?
It's 42 days, and then, just for
9306.
9306, 18-1, and 18-12, we want the fines to continue to accrue until, he comes into compliance.
Okay.
If he gets it done today and he wants us to meet us out there, if he wants to meet us, we'll go.
Somebody will do that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so if you can
All
do
right.
that, that'd be good for everybody. All
Sounds
right?
good, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next case is on page 11. Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. with Supervisor Julio Davila presenting. Case number CE 22110007. Case address 2309 Northwest 6th Place. Owner Carlton English and Perlina French. Posted at property 11823, posted at City Hall 13123.
Hello again, Special Magistrate Julio Davila, Co-Compliance Supervisor on behalf of Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. Case and address is read. The property was first inspected on November 2nd, 2022 by Senior Inspector Garcia, and the following violations were observed. 9-306 complied, 47-34.1.8.1 complied, 9-305B, the landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. 9-304B, there are vehicles, trailers parked on the front yard of the subject property. In addition, the driveway apron of the property is in disrepair. The area is not surfaced with a hard, dustless material or maintained in a smooth and well-graded condition. Section 18-12A, which has complied, section 18-4C, which has complied. An inspection report was mailed out to the owner listed on Broward County Property Appraiser's records on November 2nd, 2022. He has been in contact with the property owner, who has agreed to additional time being requested to finish the corrections needed. Therefore, the city is requesting 35 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $25 per day per violation thereafter.
Okay. Yes, your name?
Carlton English.
Okay. So you heard what the inspector has said,
Yes.
Supervisor? Okay.
Yes, sir.
35 days is a little over a month to get it done. You made significant progress so far. Let's just wrap it up. It's a month to get it done. You can do that within that time. Otherwise, fines will start. Like I said before, the city does not want the money. They just want you to finish the good job you started, okay?
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Okay. All right. 35 days, $25 per violation if not timely complied. Thanks, Mr. Sir.
Next case is on page 31, case number, Senior Inspector Leonard Champagne, case number E CE 22120826. Property address 2130 Northeast 56th Street. Owner Mitro Kubrak. First cited January 4th, 2023 to comply by January 19th, 2023. One section is complied at $200 a day. A total of $3,600 has accrued. The city requests the full amount. The appeal deadline was January 19, 2023, and no appeal was received.
Good morning, Magistrate. Leonard Champagne for the city for case CE 22-120826, address 2130 Northeast 56th Street. This property was cited on 1/4/2023 for 15272A. This property is being utilized as a vacation rental without the required certificate of compliance from the city. Violation, as read earlier, was complied on 2/6/23. Okay, would make it the fines of $3,600, and the city is requested to impose the fines.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Kaylee Arn. I'm the representative for the owner. I understand that they are now in compliance, and that there is the lien reduction application that they have to
They're
go
not
through.
in compliance, are they?
Yes, Your Honor, they passed their vacation rental inspection. So I've talked to the owner and his wife and both of them and explained to them that we would be here for this hearing to impose this and they could appeal it.
Okay. Again, like we mentioned earlier, if an appeal had been received, I would have authority to consider reducing it. The appeal was not done, so I can't reduce this fine of $3,600. You're going to have to go through or the owner will go through this lien reduction or fine reduction process, which is a separate process. Okay? Okay, but otherwise, what am I doing? Imposing this? Imposing it, Lauren? Yes, okay. So I'm imposing that amount of $3,600. Okay. Okay.
We'll give her an application, Your Honor, and answer any of her questions.
Oh, Your Honor stuff. You guys.
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
I'm just
Magistrate.
Turn myself
thank
into a judge. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next case is on page 37, Inspector Karen Proto, case number CE 22070571, property address 2201 Northwest 6th Court, owner Anthony Willis Jr., first heard October 11, 2022, to comply by November 8, 2022. There are 2 suspensions noted on the agenda. 7 sections are complied at $50 a day, and $14,550 has accrued. The city requests the full amount.
Inspector Proto for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case and address is read into the records. This case came before the magistrate on 10/11, where the evidence was presented and found for the city. These violations were first cited on 8/7/22. A total of 11 inspections were made on the property. The case is now in compliance. The city is recommending full imposition of fines.
Okay, so this is $14,550? Is that the number I've got? Okay. Yes, sir. Your name?
Anthony Willis at 2201 Northwest 6th Court.
Okay. So the good news is you are in complete compliance, which is good. It stops the clock. But they want the full amount of the fine, which I'm going to impose, but recommending to you, if you seek to appeal it under this lien or fine reduction process. It's a separate process.
Okay, do they mail that or do I see somebody?
I'm sorry?
Oh,
They have the paperwork here for you. Okay? Anything else?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
The next case is on page 42. Inspector Rafael Santos, case number CE 22110347, property address 1798 Southeast 25th Ave, owner Marietta Hospitality LLC, CDN Hospitality LLC. First cited November 16, 2022, to comply by January 15, 2023. One section is not complied at $150 a day. A total of $4,750 has accrued. The city requests the full amount and fines continue to accrue. The appeal deadline was December 1st, 2022, and no appeal was received.
Okay.
Good morning, Magistrate Rafael Santos for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Enforcement, presenting case CE 22110347 for property located at 1798 Southeast 25th Ave. This property was issued a citation on November 16th, 2022 for section 47-21.15.a, irreparable damage for removing one royal palm tree without first obtaining a permit. The citation included an immediate civil penalty for $250 and given 60 days to obtain the after-the-fact permit, which would include a violation of $150 per day. As of February 13th, 2023, the violation remains, no permit issued, and the fines continue to accrue. The city is requesting the full imposition of fines.
Okay, your name, sir?
My name is Andrew Ferry.
And who are you in relation to these two companies that own this property?
I am Marietta Hospitality LLC, and my wife sitting back there is CDN Hospitality LLC.
So these are it's an investment home.
Well, it's a winter home, like a vacation home for us.
You live here?
Just like we visit, like I'm from Canada, Niagara Falls, Canada, so it's just a vacation home.
Okay. So again, when I talked about this thing of an appeal, if an appeal had been received by the city, I would be able to look at whether or not to reduce this fine. No appeal was received, so I can do nothing about this fine. You'd have to do what I talked about with these other people to seek a reduction. Why you took down a Royal Palm, it's not for me to second guess why you did that, but the fine is running or is it stopped?
No, it's continuing to.
Okay, he needs to get an after-the-fact permit, right?
Correct.
This is not that hard to do. The tree is gone. You come in here and seek to validate what you did, if you can, through an after-the-fact permit. Pay the fee, go through the process, and stop the fine. Then when that is done and the property's in compliance, you can seek to reduce the fine.
Do you want me to explain the background or no bother?
It's not gonna help me now. You didn't have, I can't do anything about the amount.
Okay,
You can tell me if you wish, but I can't do anything about it, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, I'll just basically tell you that we bought the home in 2019. In March, there was COVID. We were never there for 2.5 years. The first time back in September. Asked the property manager to look into the tree because it was in the middle of the backyard. It was tall, leaning towards the house. One of the prongs fell, almost hit my son. It was a hazard. All I asked him to do was get a quote to take it down. Then when I came in January, he told me there was a fine of $250. That's all I knew. I didn't know. And then he said I had to get a permit. So I commissioned an architect, but I had no way of knowing that there was a fine accruing. He never made me aware of that. So I'll have to take that up with him. I'm totally shocked coming here today that this is going on.
Okay, well, again, these things are not meant to punish people. They're made to make sure people follow the rules. Certain trees are protected in this city as in other cities down here in this county, and that's one of them. It's a Royal Palm, is a particularly important tree.
So what's my next step to go to get the permit? Is that what
Yes, right?
Yes, yes.
And then I have to come back here, right?
At some point, you come back under
For the mitigation, yes, if you want to reduce your fines.
Okay, but as for my purposes now, I have to impose the fine, and I got to move on with the other people.
I
Okay?
understand that.
Okay.
Do I come back after it complies to here, or where do I go?
Yes, once you're in compliance, then you have to go through the mitigation process. You can call our office and they can give, or I think the information is.
So I don't have to come back here if I comply?
For the reduction, yes, but for your compliance, no.
Oh, but not under this process?
Can somebody explain this to me? Because I got a lot of people still waiting.
Magistrate Senior Officer Garcia, City of Fort Lauderdale. So once you have obtained the after-the-fact tree removal permit, okay, the violation will then be complied, okay? Once that violation is complied, the city offers you an opportunity for you to come back, okay, and request a lien reduction hearing so that way the reduction of fines can then be attested. You understand?
Okay. No, if I got your phone number somewhere so I could call, we're never here. That's
Yes,
the problem. We're very
we
infrequent.
we actually have an information packet over here for you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Magistrate.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming down. Yes, I'm imposing the fine.
Which will continue to accrue.
Right. Until compliance.
Next case is on page 28. Inspector Bernstein Sambert. Case number is CE 22120424. Property address 819 Northwest 2nd Street. Owner Betty Robinson and Ivy Williams. This is an administrative appeal.
morning. Bernstein Sandberg, City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement, case number CE 2212-0424, property address 819 Northwest 2nd Street. This property was inspected on December 15th, 2022 for the following violations: 1812A, overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on this property and or its well. Procedure for vacant lot is followed by submitting a print form request to lot clearing, who would then mail a certified notice mailing to the owner informing them of the overgrowth, trash, and debris on this vacant lot. I would then re-inspect the property after 10 days. After re-inspection, I would then submit a work order to lot clearing informing them that the violation remains and they need to send their city contractor to cut and clean up the trash and debris. That happened on December 27th, that I re-inspected the property, and work was completed, and I went on December 29th, 2022, and the city contractor did in fact cut and remove all the trash and debris. I did speak to the owner of the vacant lot, I believe, what's her name? Ivy. I spoke to Ivy, and I informed her to register her vacant lot with the city for the vacant lot registry for future violation. In that case, I could have called her and let her know that, listen, I issued a violation for overgrowth, trash, and debris, and the city's giving you 10 days to rectify that. So I'm not sure if she did it yet, but I did inform her to do that for future reference. I would like to enter the photos as evidence that show violation as depicted. The city is requesting full imposition.
What's the amount, Inspector?
The amount of the $400 was the amount for the city subcontractor fees for cutting and.
So that's money the city paid to somebody else to clean up the lot.
Well, that's the invoice that they sent to the city.
Okay.
That's the invoice.
So you want to show her those pictures first?
It should be on
Showing
there.
on the computer?
Yeah, they're shown up there. Yeah, on the screen.
So this is not cleaned up.
No, it's.
This is it before they went?
Do you have?
Yes, that's before.
Okay, now it's clean and cut?
Yeah, we paid.
Hold on, one second. I want to ask him. So it's clean and cut and in compliance now?
Correct. It's clean and cut on December 29th.
Okay, and it has to be maintained that way periodically, right?
Say that again?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now can you tell me your name and address? Ivy what?
I'm Ivy Williams.
Okay.
I'm Betty Robinson.
You have to use a microphone, ladies.
I'm Betty Robinson.
Thank you. Okay. So you know what happened that.
Well, yeah, what happened was, we pay somebody monthly already to clear our lot. It just so happened that with the holidays and illness, she wasn't able to get to it until the 28th. And she had reached out and contacted my grandmother and told her when she went the 28th that the lot had already been halfway cut. At that time, we didn't know who cut half a lot. So it wasn't until January 12th that we actually found out that there was any problem from the city with the lot. And with that, of course, we didn't receive the violation paper until January 12th, but on here it says December 15th. So when I called and spoke to a lady named Andrea with the city, she told me that we were supposed to get 10 days. So we didn't get our letter until January 12th. Our lady went out on the 28th to cut our lot. Our lot was already cut, so we wasn't able to get our 10 days.
Okay, tell me where I am with this for an order.
So Your Honor, if the pictures could be scrolled through, you'll see in one of the pictures that there was a notice right there.
A yellow notice? Okay.
Yes, correct. Posted. So the 10 days run as of the date of the notice, not the date of receipt, because certainly, again, someone could never receive things, someone could, unclaim. So it's 10 days from the date of the notice, which is unfortunately typically posted like that on a vacant lot unless there's a fence or something. And again, pursuant to what the inspector testified, The lot was remediated on the 29th of December in the amount of $400, which is what was spent by the city's third-party contractor.
Okay, so they owe the $400 to repay the city what it spent to have it cleaned up.
That's what the city's asking for.
In the email that I received from his contractor, the contractor date says the 28th.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Our third-party contractors don't typically. I have no idea.
They usually, once the submission is went through, whenever they get to it, they would clean it up and inform the city. Right after the 10th day, once they get notified whenever you get a chance.
We never got any type of mail or notification. We check our property often. Even if you look at his pictures, once he went back for the reinspection, that little piece of paper or whatever he posted on the lot was gone. It wasn't even in the picture. We never saw it. We never got a notice until January 12th.
They didn't get mail notice in addition?
No,
We got it January 12th.
Okay, I don't want to hold everybody else up here. I might need to meet with them to figure out what's going on here. For now, I'm going to impose what's the $400? Is that the idea? Impose that? Or deny the appeal? Okay. So for now, I'm going to deny the appeal, but if it's shown that you were in the right, that can be reconsidered. But it's not clear to me, I can't spend all this time holding everybody else up, trying to figure out what you're talking about for different dates. So I'll let you work with the inspector and see what we can do here. If you want to try to do it today while they're still here and come back, let me know. I prefer that, so they don't have to come back.
Yeah, we'll recall the case.
Okay, so we're going to talk to you and figure it out and recall it and see if there's something can be done, okay?
We're going to recall it here at this hearing.
Sorry?
If you could. We're going to recall the case at this
hearing, yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this case will be recalled. The next case is on page 30.
What does that mean?
Yeah, they're going to meet and
Just
talk
have a
to you.
seat and we'll call you again to discuss the case. So the next case is on page 30. Senior Inspector Manny Garcia, case number CE 22120319, property address 1601 Southwest 22nd Ave. Owner Carol Stevenson, first cited December 14, 2022 one section was to be complied by December 15, 2022. The next section was to be complied by December 28th of 2022. The two sections are complied at $200 a day. A total of $5,600 has accrued. The city requests the full amount. The appeal deadline was December 29th, 2022, and an appeal has been received. This is an appeal of the citation.
Okay.
Magistrate Ansbro, for the record, Senior Officer Garcia presenting case CE 22120319, reference to the property 1601 Southwest 22nd Avenue. The subject property was issued 3 citations on December 14, 2022. One of them was 47-22.9, for there is a sign that has been erected without the required permits from the city of Fort Lauderdale. 47-34.4.B.1, there's overnight parking of commercial vehicles and equipment at this RS8 zone property. 47-34.1.A.1, there is illegal land use occurring at this RS8 zone property. There is illegal storage of commercial equipment and commercial vehicles taking place on the property. Please refer to the photographs submitted as evidence of my findings. The case was brought to compliance on January 11, 2023, but fines have accrued to the sum of $5,600. At this time, the city is requesting the full imposition of fines with an additional administrative cost for contesting the violations of $75, bringing the total to $5,675.
Yes, sir. Your name and address?
Yes, my name is Arthur Stevenson, 1601 Southwest 22nd Avenue.
Okay, well, you've got some,
Say again?
you have some, you had equipment here that doesn't belong in a
my
residential
son-
neighborhood.
We were helping out my son. He was struggling. He had moved up to northern Florida. There was no work there. He had to bring his equipment and stuff down. And we were just trying to help him. And we got as soon as the inspectors came and told us, and they gave us the dates, we found a place for him to store it other than our house, and we're in compliance.
Okay, well, this went on for 2 weeks, the way I'm reading this.
And
14
the
days?
sign was a stick in the grass sign, and we removed that.
Right, the sign was complied with, no fines.
But it's the parking there for 2 weeks, right? That's the issue.
Well, the commercial vehicles and the equipment was kept on the property from December 14th, that we observed it, December 14th, and it was complied on January 11th, 2023.
So that's more than 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, the truck that was in the back behind the fence was, we couldn't get it started. We had to buy new batteries for it. That wouldn't start it. Then we had to get a mechanic out there. There was an electronic component that we had to order, and that took a week or two to get to us. Once that came, we got the vehicle towed to a place where they could start it, and then we took that to the place where we could store the vehicles, and so we're in full compliance.
Okay. So I have the ability to reduce the fine if I wish to do that?
Yes, sir, you do, because of the administrative appeal was timely.
Okay. All right, you still had 3 weeks of this affecting this neighborhood. Should never have been here in the first place. I'm willing to reduce it to $4,000 in total rather than $5,600. If you pay it within, how much time do you need to pay it?
I need years to pay that.
Not gonna work that way. It'll end up being a lien on your property. 1 second.
This is our
$75.
homestead.
I'm sorry?
This is our homestead.
That's nice to know, but you still owe $4,000 plus the $75 fee, or you owe $5,600 if you don't want to take my offer. So what do you wish to do?
Can we have 2 months?
Yes, you can have 2 months, 60 days. It's $4,075. The 75 is for the appeal fee that you did. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, it sounds like your son's gonna owe you. Somebody's gonna have to pay it, but the city's not gonna absorb that. It has to be, the neighborhood was affected by this for a couple weeks, and it shouldn't have been at all.
All right, we'll get a notification of that.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Magistrate.
Thank you, Magistrate.
Thank you, sir.
Next case is on page 28. Inspector Rafael Santos, case number CE 22110374, property address 1918 South Andrews Ave, owner Crater 1918 LLC. This is an administrative appeal.
Good morning, Magistrate Rafael Santos for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Enforcement Unit presenting case CE 22110374 for property located at 1918 South Andrews Avenue. This property was issued a nuisance notice on November 17th, 2022.
What date?
November 17th,
Okay.
2022, for
Right.
section 18-1. There was graffiti at this property that is creating a public nuisance. It is being maintained in such a manner that the property is or may reasonably threaten and endanger the public health, safety, or welfare, or may adversely affect the impair the economic welfare of adjacent properties. The property was posted, and a letter was sent out via admin. The property was re-inspected on December 1st, 2022, and the violation remained. A print form was submitted for the city contractor to go out and abate the graffiti. The city contractor went out on December 5th, 2022. No contact has been made with myself. The city is requesting a full amount of the cost associated with the abatement of the graffiti of $2,420.31.
All right, yes, sir. Name and address?
David Crosby, 6501 East Tropical Way, Plantation, Florida.
Okay, and what's your relationship to this property?
Co-owner.
Okay. This is money that the city spent to get this done because you didn't get it done on time. So it's due. I'm not gonna reduce it when it wasn't done, when you had an opportunity to do it.
Can I speak?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. The official notice was given to us via mail and certified mail on December 7th, giving us 10 days in which to do the work. And in the same mail was the fine and the fine. Before our 10 days was up, we were given from this to the 17th. It says 10 days from the date of this notice to comply. And the work was done before the 17th.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Magistrate, Senior Inspector Cloyan. I just wanted to say a few things on this case. So we did print, I was with him yesterday when we went over this case, and we did print a timeline for the processing and all the dates. So the NOV was processed on 11/18/2022, and then that's sent out. We do post, but we also send it out certified mail.
So it's posted on the building that day.
It's posted, it was posted and mailed on the 18th. And then the work order was processed December 1st, which is actually more than the 10 days. And then the contractors didn't go out there for another additional, I believe it's five days. They went out on the 5th. And then the invoice was processed on the 7th of December.
Okay.
So there was
The
plenty of
invoice was
time. Due
processed.
process was made.
The invoice was processed prior to this letter going out to us, the certified letter. Any letter coming to us.
I don't understand.
The property's vacant. There's nobody there on a daily basis.
The property was posted with a big yellow sign here on the front door.
I understand, but it's vacant. We don't go there every day. It's not part of our daily routine. Mail was sent to us certified on the 7th of December, giving us 10 days to do it. And in the same mail was the fine. Already complied.
This fine is here for me to impose.
Well, not the fine, but the cost of having the work done.
Right.
So prior to our date, and it's right here, giving us to the 17th to do it, and she just said it was done on the 5th. So prior to us giving any notice, the work was completed.
So to reiterate, no, the notice, the original notice went out on the 18th of November
Via mail,
via certified and posted.
I would have to see a copy of the certified mail from the 18th of
So,
November.
sorry, it was posted on the 17th, right? You could see it in the picture. So the other half is the process of mailing out the letter. So we did a check on the case, and it shows here that it was processed on November 18th.
I have all the certified mail that we received, and they are dated December 7th.
So we
Not
do.
November
we do have
anything.
to- So we do have to, our due process is to show when it's mailed, not when it's,
The certified mail should have a receipt from somebody
Well,
saying,
again, I'm going with the fact that the property was posted, whether you go in and look at it or not, is not for me or the city to do. Your responsibility is to monitor the property.
and the last thing I'll say is we've had another inspector in the past, and when there was an issue, he would call us up, and he knows where my partner has a shop. Hey, blah, 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 because it is a vacant property, and we have maintained, and this is a crime committed against us.
I agree
This
with
is not
that.
something I did or neglected.
I fully support and
Somebody walks by,
understand that.
paints my building, and the way we solve it is to $2,600 to paint 100 square feet of building seems excessive, number one. Number two, the timelines were not met. And if you're gonna set the rules, and you're gonna do it this way, then you should follow your own rules.
I'm going to ask you to put this on recall so you can take him outside and walk through so he understands when this was done and what the law is under the state law and the city ordinance for notice. Because if he was not given sufficient notice, I'm willing to reconsider it. But this is money out of pocket by the city.
It's the city's position that proper notice was given. A review of the file reflects under 162, as Your Honor knows, notice is served three different ways: first-class mail, certified mail, and posting. The posting is shown with a dated photo. There is an affidavit of first-class mailing in the file, which also...
This is regular mail.
Right, which is part of the required notice under 162, which also reflects the affiant states that the notice was mailed in November, And there's the evidence of the certified mailing as well.
Certified mail came December 7th,
And regular
and
mail.
the regular mail came December 7th. They both came the same day.
The code director will look at it, but it has, it's legally irrelevant when it came, it's when it is sent.
The letter in the
Statute.
mail states,
Again,
the letter in the mail states that I have till December 17th to correct the violation. This is your letter to us. It was corrected prior to the 17th.
Okay, please meet
We're
with him. I want to meet.
We're going to recall and review this?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Again, if he's right, then he's right, and we'll deal with it.
Oh, yep, okay.
But it's important that, you know, in a case like this, of mailing the notice, it's not enough, when you give a certain amount of time, he's got to be able to receive the notice to know what I have to do and when. So I am concerned about that. If you take a look at it and bring it on recall, thank you.
This case will be recalled. The next case is also on page 28. Inspector Rafael Santos, case number CE 22110126, property address 1223 Southwest 15th Ave, owner Michael Sia and Avery Shepard, first cited November 5th, 2022, to comply by January 4th, 2023. One section is not complied at $150 a day. A total of $6,900 has accrued. The city requests the full amount, and the fines continue to accrue. The appeal deadline was November 20th, 2022, and an appeal has been received. This is an appeal of the citation.
Okay.
Rafael Santos, City of Fort Lauderdale, Code Enforcement, presenting case CE 22110126 for property located at 1223 Southwest 15th Ave. This property was issued a citation on November 5th, 2022, for section 47-21.15.a, irreparable damage from removing 3 laurel oak trees without first obtaining.
What kind of oak trees?
Laurel oaks.
Okay.
Trees without first obtaining a permit. The citation included an immediate civil penalty of $750. It's $250 per tree, and given 60 days to obtain an after-the-fact permit, for which included a violation of $150 per day. As of February 13th, 2023, the violation remains, no permit issued, and the fines continue to accrue. The city is requesting the full imposition of fine. Owner submitted an arborist report, which I forward to Landscape for review. And here to speak for the report is Ms. Laura Tooley, Landscape Plan Examiner for the City of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. Okay.
Good morning, I'm Laura Tooley, I'm Landscape Plans Examiner for City of Fort Lauderdale, and I am an ISA certified arborist with tree risk assessment qualifications. I looked at the arborist report that was provided. There were 2 provided. Chris, can you bring up? Unfortunately, the arborist report provided by the arborist did not include sufficient information according to the state statute. The procedures are outlined in the best management practices, which the state statute specifically references. And if you go to the second page, you'll see that there are 3 laurel oak trees I circled, which the arborist report doesn't indicate which tree was assessed. And so we don't know what tree the arborist was assessing, and therefore the permit should be required for all 3. If you go to the second page, I provided a checklist of what is expected according to the best management practices, according to the state statute. And you can see what items I believe were included and what items were lacking, I've highlighted.
Okay, so if they had gotten a correct arborist, go ahead.
And as far as the, there was an additional arborist report for the Norfolk Island pine, which is on the last page, which is by code, you do not require a permit for removal. we are asking that a permit be required, an after-fact permit be applied for the 3 Laurel Oaks, since the arborist report was incomplete.
Okay, so there are 2 arborist reports, and they're both defective?
I beg your pardon?
2 arborist reports, and they're both defective?
One is irrelevant because the Norfolk Island pine does not require a permit by
Right.
city ordinance.
Right.
The other one is it references 1 laurel oak tree, but
And
it
there's
should
3
be
there,
specific.
and you don't know which one.
It should be specific. Each tree should be assessed individually according to the best management practices.
Okay. All right, folks, tell me who you are.
My name is Mike Silla, and this is my wife, Avery Shepard. So we actually do have 3 permits here from a certified arborist regarding laurel oak trees. So we went through, in our opinion, compliance on removing these trees. Regarding the Norfolk, we actually do have a certified arborist
The
letter.
Norfolk is irrelevant because you
But we
don't need a
did,
permit for
just
those.
to show that
But
we
you
did
do
go
need
through
after-the-fact
compliance.
permits for these other ones.
Why would we need I'm sorry. But we went through a compliance process and we stayed in compliance and we went through that checklist ourselves personally. We went as far as getting a certified arborist letter for even the Norfolk, which we, as she said, did not need to. So in our opinion, we feel that we took the necessary steps to remove these trees in compliance. Regarding that, each one of these trees were pushing up against the foundation of our home. And actually, we do have reports here and have recently fixed roof damage from these trees as of even recently. So in our opinion, we feel that we have completely gone within compliance here. It seems like the issue is that these reports don't have the exact location of these trees, but we do have 3 arborist letters for each of these trees.
Only 2 were provided to the officer, I believe?
At the time, they only fined us for 2 laurel oaks, and we requested the original report, which was not sent to us, and we have the email chain that does have that as well.
All right, again, we're caught into something that I don't want to sit here and have to arbitrate this. I'm going to put this on recall. Please meet with them outside. Let me take a,
Well, Your Honor, I mean, the city staff is, the violation on the appeal is 3 trees removed without first obtaining required permit. The city arborist has testified, and as Your Honor sees on the checklist, the areas highlighted in green were not present in the 1 report for an unspecified oak. They've also testified that only 1 report written on notebook paper was provided to the inspector. So it would be the city's position that, again, based on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 deficiencies that are present, required under Florida Statute 163.045, they have not provided that information. They certainly can update and provide a more, the proper comprehensive report from a certified arborist or landscape architect, and at which time the case would be complied, and then they can come back for lien reduction. But it's the city's position that the property owners have not met their burden because, based upon the testimony provided and the document shown on the screen, Your Honor, that the reports are missing all of this critical information, and only 1 report was received, but they're 3 oaks.
Excuse me.
There's a way they can go back to try to rectify it by a subsequent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I,
What am I doing
might,
today? What am I
sorry?
doing for them today?
Well, this is a citation appeal, so the city would request that you deny the appeal, and then
Give an
when they come
opportunity.
into compliance.
Come back and revisit the fines.
Correct.
Excuse me if I may just speak. I did reach out within 2 days of receiving this letter to get more clarity. In addition to the instance of receiving this letter, we did try to ask questions on, we were told by multiple tree companies, being that this is our first time ever doing this, that a letter from a certified arborist that applies to each specific tree would be sufficient per the state law. So we followed the guidance that we were given, in addition to trying to get key questions answered from Mr. Santos prior to receiving this letter. It took me, I have the emails here, probably over a month to even get a reply. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I know everyone's busy, but if I'm looking for key questions to be answered, I would have been happy to comply, but we didn't even know what next steps were because we couldn't get clarity on next steps. So I just want to make that clear that by no means were we choosing to go against the rules. We were told that this was what we should be doing by people who do this for a living. And I then did follow up to try and get a good, clear understanding. And we were never provided this checklist to then understand.
Well, the checklist
we're
is something
missing.
that the arborist is supposed to know the checklist, not you.
Correct. I'm just saying, to get clarity.
Correct.
Well,
Oh,
and
excuse
so-
me. Magistrate, also, I just want Senior Inspector Cloyne for the City of Fort Lauderdale. I just also want, for the record, the arborist report was given after the fact. Just want to make that clear.
Before
after.
after the removal.
Correct.
Okay, so for today's purposes, I'm going to deny the appeal, but it gives you the opportunity to meet with them, try to show that there was an arborist report that meets the code, meets the state law of why they were removed. And if you need after-the-fact permits, then come back and seek the reduction of whatever it is at that point. But it's got to be in compliance.
Okay, so, and again, just from our opinion here, and we were not trying to like go around the system.
I get it,
But we got 3 arborist letters for each of the 3 trees that were taken down.
Okay,
So I'm struggling to
I'm gonna
figure
leave it
out
to- I'm gonna leave it to
where
you. Excuse
that
me,
goes through.
Excuse me, I'm denying the appeal today. I'm gonna let you, a time to meet with the arborist or your own arborist with her to show what you've got as to whether or not it complies with the law. I don't have time to do that, and I'm not able to do that for you. But I am willing to look at the fines after it's done and cleaned up, rather than talk about it at length here when I still have all these other people, okay?
Okay, no, I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Okay.
And,
I will impose the fine. How much? And they continue to accrue, okay?
thank you, sir.
Thank you. And we have these ladies here that, I think they're done.
Yeah, can you recall the ladies?
This is the vacant lot?
Okay, so we will recall the case on page 28. Inspector Bernstein Sambert, case number CE 22120424. Property address 819 Northwest Second Street, owner Betty Robinson and Ivy Williams.
Good morning, good morning, Magistrate. Katrina Johnson Jordan, Code Compliance Manager for the City of Fort Lauderdale. It is the city's position that due process was not provided for this property, and so for that, the city is withdrawing the case.
The city's doing what?
Withdrawing the case.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for taking your time to be patient and have the city look into it.
Thank you.
I always want to do the fair thing, so, okay? Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, just want to make sure that they understand that we did get a finding of fact that it's a repeat violation, so you want to make sure that you're mindful that the violation doesn't reoccur. Because if it reoccurs as a repeat violation, the fines will start from the date that we first saw that the violation existed, okay?
Right, and within that, what I didn't understand was, we don't have anything of a repeat. This is the first time we've ever had this issue with that property.
So what happens when a violation is considered a repeat, that means that you've been cited for the same type of violation within the last 5 years. If it's the same owner for the same type of violation within the last 5 years, and it's reoccurred within the last 5 years, you take it to special magistrate, and it came before the magistrate for that, and it was a finding of fact that was found by the magistrate that is now considered a repeat violation. So that means that same violation occurs again within a 5-year period, that fines will begin to accrue from the first day that we see that violation exists.
Okay, and where can we get records of when this first?
Get with your inspector, he'll explain it all and tell you which violations are repeat to make sure that they don't occur again with that same violation within the next 5 years, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case is on page 43, Inspector Malaika Murray, case number CE 22080501. Property address 5201 Northeast 17th Ave, owner Lee Cooper and Susan L. Cooper. First heard November 9th, 2022, to comply by December 14th, 2022. Two sections not complied at $50 a day, and a total of $6,200 has accrued. The city requests the full amount.
Inspector Murray for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance. The case number is CE 21110541 for, oh, I'm sorry, that's the incorrect address. I apologize. Once again, Inspector Murray for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance. The case number, or correct case number is CE 22080501 for the property location of 5201 Northeast 17th Avenue. Once again, this case first came before Special Magistrate on November the 9th, 2022, where evidence was presented and the magistrate found for the city. The violations were first cited on August the 17th, 2022. A total of 10 re-inspections were made at the property, and there have been no conversations with the property owner until today in regards to this case. The property is currently not in compliance, and we do have the representation or ownership for the property who would like to speak with you, Special Magistrate, about his circumstance.
Yes, sir. Name?
Good morning, sir. My name is Lee Cooper. I'm the owner of the property. Yeah, I finally was able to get people that can execute the work that needs to be done to correct the violation. Everything was in place to go forward about 3 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I contracted COVID in the interim and have just now recovered and was unable to have anybody on the property or unable to actually, commence the work. So I'm just asking if I can get a 30-day extension to the time frame to have the work completed.
So to get the driveway fixed and the.
I have contracts
and
set
the
up for
fence.
both of the
Within
fence
30
and the
within 30
driveway
days.
to be corrected.
Special Magistrate, it is the city's position to impose the fines as read.
Okay, I'm going to give them the 30 days to do it.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
I want to get the compliance done, but you're well over the time you had to do this.
Yes, sir. I'm
So
aware.
if it's not done, it's going to be a problem. I'm going to
Yeah,
let the fines.
finding the right.
But I'm going to let the fines continue to run. I'm giving you the time, but the fines were going to continue to run. Make sure you get it done. When it's done, hold on, when it's done in compliance, you then seek to fine reduction with the paperwork they have here. And if it's merited, I'm going to rely upon the inspector to tell me if it is and what you've done to get it fixed. But it's had a long time to get this fixed,
Yeah,
okay?
finding the right contractor for this particular process has been more than difficult.
Understood, but that's
Been through
what
3 or
you're
4
going to have to
different-
do.
I understood.
Magistrate, 28 or 35 days.
The blue ones? Oh, okay, 35.
35?
I don't want to stop. Oh, I would stop the fines? Okay, so the fines do stop, so you're lucky.
Thank you.
35 days to get these things done.
From today?
But then the fines remain that are there, and they'll resume if they're not done,
Understood.
okay? So you're
Understood.
getting a break there to get it done.
I
Please,
appreciate that.
I'm not gonna want to hear you couldn't find somebody. You gotta find
I
somebody.
don't know. I have them lined up and.
That's all right,
and
that's all right.
Couldn't have anybody on my property due to the illness.
Okay, well, you're getting a break there. It's your Valentine's Day present.
Thank you, sir.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
sir.
Thank you, Magistrate.
Thank you, sir.
The next case is on page 38. Inspector Diego Santos, case number CE 22080781, property address 2517 Southwest 6th Court, owner Lakeshia Stevens. First heard November 9th, 2022, to comply by December 14th, 2022. One section is not complied at $25 a day, and a total of $1,550 has accrued. The city requests the full amount, and fines continue to accrue.
Good morning, Inspector Diego Santos, representing the City of Lauderdale. Can you please repeat the address?
2517 Southwest 6th Court.
Okay, thank you very much. So Inspector Diego Santos, in behalf of the city, the case and address as read. The case was first heard on November 9. The special magistrate ruled in favor of the city, and the property owner was ordered to correct the violations at this property by December 14, 2022. Violations were brought in compliance on February 13. The city is requesting full imposition of fines.
Requesting what?
Full imposition of fines.
Full imposition of the fine?
Yes.
Which is $15.50, right?
Yes, $15.50. Oh, it's complied yesterday? Okay. $15.25, yes, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so they did not get it done within the time they were supposed to, is the point, right? It was not done?
It was not, yeah, it was not done in the time that we were
So
given.
a number of
which
days that it was out of compliance?
Yeah, it was out of compliance until February 13, which was yesterday.
Okay. Yes, ladies. Name?
I'm Tara Stevens.
I need you on the microphone there.
I'm Tara Stevens.
Okay.
Lakeisha Stevens.
Okay. Well, again, now you're in compliance. I can tell you what you had there was completely unacceptable. Can't have these sling things and all over the lawn. So now you're in compliance. You know what you can and cannot do, but you still owe a fine of $1,525 for the time it was there. And I'm not going to reduce that. Those things were not to be in the neighborhood like that. You had plenty of time to remove them. All you had to do was driven off.
We removed.
But those were removed in time.
Immediately.
Those are removed,
on
right?
time. They were removed on time.
And that's what I'm asking him.
Yeah, the vehicles.
They were moved.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. The vehicles, they were removed with the time frame. So what it was in question was the repair of the driveway. So
The driveway, okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
The drive-
Vehicles, good, you got me
And was
clarified.
having problems trying to lot.
So the driveway's still not done?
No, the driveway was repaired. So, but they finished the repair, like I mentioned on record. It was done yesterday. That's when I did the reinspection. I find that
Okay, so it
the
wasn't.
driveway
I
was
thought it was the
indeed
vehicles
repaired.
remained all that time.
Yeah, the vehicles, they were removed within time frame. There were no vehicles at the property after the reinspection. Just the driveway was not repaired
All right, so it's $1,525 because the driveway was not done.
because the driveway was not
Time you were
done.
supposed to do it.
Yes, Your Honor. Magistrate.
Any questions about that?
No, it's in compliance now.
Okay. Do you need time to pay it?
Is there any way that I can go through the process to have it reduced?
For that kind of money, I don't think it's going to happen, but you can go through the process. I think the
I
process,
definitely would like
process alone is like $300 to apply.
Well, Your Honor, the administration costs for there was a total of 12 inspections done in the property, total $552, and then the 2 times that we attend the special hearing, which is 166. So the total administrative cost is 718, and the city is not opposed to bring to this amount.
To do that now, I can do that now?
Yes, if you'd like, Your Honor, you do have the.
I can reduce it to the cost the city has put into the case rather than the $1,525. How much was it then total?
$718.
$718, okay. Payable within 30 days?
Yeah,
Okay, let's do that.
thank you.
Okay, thank you for getting it done.
Do I have to, is there any other paperwork or I'm gonna have?
They're gonna get something in
A
the mail?
notice of that or,
You'll get an order in the mail.
okay, all right.
The next case is on page 9. Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. with Supervisor Julio Davila presenting case number CE 221000400, property address 1601 Northwest 6th Street. Owner Willie Rawls Jr. Livable Trust. Willie Rawls Jr. as trustee. Posted at property January 17, 2023. Posted at City Hall January 31st, 2023.
Good morning again. Special Magistrate Julio Davila, Co-Compliance Supervisor, presenting on behalf of Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. For the aforementioned property. This property was first inspected on October 16, 2022, and the following violations were observed. 18-8A. This property appears to have had windows boarded without first obtaining a certificate from the city. 2 windows at the east and 1 window at the north are boarded up. 47-19.5.
Let me stop you for a second. My agenda shows that as withdrawn. What does that mean?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, that one has been withdrawn. That means we've withdrawn that specific violation from the agenda.
Okay.
That
But
is
there's three
correct.
remaining.
There is three remaining. And the remaining ones are the 18-8 I just read. In addition to that, there is a 47-21.11.a. The landscape at this property in Swale is not being maintained in neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. 47-20.2.h. There are parking facilities that are not maintained at this NWRAC MUW zone property. The asphalt parking area in the rear of the property is damaged. It has potholes, cracks, and uneven sections. The area needs to be resurfaced and should be restriped and have wheel stops installed. An inspection report was mailed out to the owner listed on BCPA records on October 16, 2022. There has been no communication so far with anyone representing the property with Mr. Quintero, and the city is requesting 28 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day per violation for each day thereafter.
Okay. Yes, sir, your name?
Jamal Hunt.
Okay.
So this is my father's property. He left it in a trust. He passed away in August the 23rd. So that's why I'm just getting all the paperwork now. He left me as trustee. So, I mean, I'm sure I can get it up to code by the 28 days, you say?
Well, you don't want the fines to start, so
Right.
28 days to get these things done, okay?
Got you.
Okay, well, that's what we'll do, an order that says that.
All right.
And if
And
you
they will-
do you have the inspector's information?
No.
or any
Can
of
I
the
get that
notices?
and can I
I'm
update?
gonna give you my card and you can contact me and I can forward it to the inspector.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, my pleasure.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sorry about the loss of your dad.
Hello again.
1 second, whose case was this?
Yeah, we're recalling his case.
Oh, great, okay,
Yes, we
Okay.
figured out the mess.
good,
Yes,
thank
we
you.
will recall the case on page 28. Inspector Rafael Santos, case number CE 22110374, property address 1918 South Andrews Ave, owner Crater 1918 LLC.
The shark case.
Shark case. It was a taxidermist, so it's really apropos.
Yeah, it sort of worked out, right?
Yep.
A lot of teeth, though. What are we doing for this gentleman?
Good morning, Magistrate Katrina Johnson Jordan, Code Manager. The city is going to withdraw this case as well due to lack of due process.
Oh, okay,
With
good.
our apologies
Thank you.
All right, thanks for your persistence, by the way.
and
Thank
patience.
you.
Yep.
Yeah, appreciate your working with them.
I'll say goodbye to my friend.
All right. Okay.
The next case is on page 44. Inspector Malaika Murray, case number CE 21110541, property address 1105 Avocado Isle, owner William and Gloria Mueller Revocable Trust. First heard April 28th, 2022 to comply by May 12th, 2022. There are two suspensions noted on the agenda. One section is not complied at $25 a day. A total of $4,850 has accrued, and fines continue to accrue, and the city requests the full amount.
Okay.
Inspector Murray for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance. The case number is CE 21110541 for the property address of 1105 Avocado Isle. This case first came before the Special Magistrate on April the 8th, 2022, where evidence was presented and the magistrate found for the city. The violations were first cited on November the 18th, 2021. A total of 21 re-inspections were made at the property. There has been no conversations with the property owner or property representation since our last special magistrate date. The property is still not into compliance, and we do have the property representation here who would like to speak towards the status of the property.
Okay, so none of these violations have been fixed about these boats obstructing the canal?
They are still there, sir.
Yes, sir. Name and address?
William Mueller, 1105 Avocado.
Okay. Why are we still having these boats here after all this time?
I have a medical problem.
Well, your medical problem doesn't mean you get to park the boats here.
I understand.
They gotta go.
Okay.
You can't block the canal here with affects other people. So the fine has already accrued to almost $5,000, and it's gonna continue to accrue until you get this resolved.
Okay, I'm trying. I hired somebody to come and help me, so I'm going for surgery. I'm not going to be able to do it, so I did hire somebody.
Okay, well, again, what am I doing then? Am I imposing this fine?
Right, the city request is to impose the fine, which will continue to accrue until
Until compliant? Okay,
Can I negotiate or
no,
lower the fine somehow?
no, not at this point.
once you come into compliance.
When you're fully in compliance, you can do like I told these other people, you can seek what's called a fine reduction. You may qualify, I'm not sure you're gonna qualify for it, other than your medical history and something that prohibited you from doing this, but it's a hard road to prove on this case. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, all we can do is wish you well, and hopefully you get it done as quickly as you can. Get your health back.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you, Special Magistrate.
okay,
Yeah, for 5 minutes?
5-minute break?
Okay, we will now take a short recess. Resume today's hearing. First case on page 1, Inspector Packet Casey, case number FC 221000004, property address 1135 Northeast 15th Ave, owner PSD Investments LLC, posted at property 11323, posted at City Hall 13123.
Good morning, Magistrate.
Yes, sir.
Fire Inspector Packet Casey, with City of Fort Lauderdale Fire Marshal's Office. Here to present case number FC 221000004 at the property address 1135 Northeast 15th Ave. This property was cited in reference to NFPA 1.7.7.2. There was storage in the electric meter room. At this time, I ask that this specific violation be withdrawn from the agenda.
Okay.
They're also cited in reference to NFPA 113.6.4.3.2.1. Fire extinguishers have not been serviced and tagged by a certified person company within the past 12 months. I've made contact with the property owner. He advised me he's understood the violation and needed a couple of weeks to come to compliance. At this time, we're requesting 28 days for the property to come into compliance, or $100 per day thereafter.
So ordered. Oh, all right. It was very professional.
The next case is on page 3, Inspector Karen Proto, case number CE 2207-0196, property address 2445 Northwest 26th Ave, owner Francis Robinson Estate, posted at property 11723, posted at City Hall 13123.
Inspector Proto for the City of Fort Lauderdale, case number CE 2207-0196, property address 2445 Northwest 26th Avenue. The property was inspected on 7/9/22, and the following violations were observed. 9-306 is complied. 18-1, there is unlawful storage on the property that is creating a nuisance. Items are being stored outside the property, such as appliances, refrigerator buckets, gas containers, and other miscellaneous items. 9-304B as complied. An inspection report was posted at the property on 7/9/22. A reinspection of the property was done on 8/22/22. Notice of hearing was posted on 1/17/23. As of pre-hearing inspection on 2/12/23, the violation remains as depicted in the photos. The city is requesting 42 days or $25 a day thereafter.
So ordered.
The next case is on page 5, Inspector Bernstein Sambert, case number CE 22090708, case address 433 Northwest 15th Way, owner Peter Chang.
Bernstein Sambert, City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement, case number and property.
Posted at property 1623, posted at City Hall 13123.
Bernstein Sambert, City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement, case number and property address as read. Property was inspected on September 10th, 2022. The following violations observed. 9-280G complied, 9-306 complied, 9-304B, the gravel on the swell is not being maintained. The gravel is worn and there are weeds growing through it. Inspection report was posted on the property and a copy was mailed to the owner according to BCPA records. Pre-hearing inspection revealed the violation stated is not in compliance. I would like to enter the photos as evidence that show violations as depicted. The city is requesting 28 days or $100 per day per violation.
So ordered.
The next case, also on page 5, Inspector Bernstein Sambert, case number CE 221000624, property address 1217 Northwest 4th Street, owner Black Brick Properties LLC, posted at property 11723, posted at City Hall 13123.
Bernstein Sambert, City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement, case number and property address as read. Property was inspected on September 10th, 2022 for the following violations. 47-34.1.A.1 complied. 18-12A, there is overgrowth, trash, rubbish, debris on this property and its well. This is a recurring violation per case CE 2107-1133. This case will be presented to the special magistrate seeking a finding of fact whether or not the violation complies prior to the hearing date. A pre-hearing inspection revealed the violation stated is not in compliance. I would like to enter the photos as evidence that show violations as depicted. City is requesting 10 days or $100 per day.
Okay, so there's still trash being put on the property even with the fence?
He removed all the stuff inside. He cut the inside of the fence.
Oh, it was
but
inside the fence.
He didn't do the outside of the
No,
fence.
that doesn't look good there. No, I see. Okay. All right, so ordered. Photos accepted.
Next case on page 6, Inspector Gail Williams, case number CE 22100615, property address 3629 Southwest 14th Street. Owner Pierre Toussaint, posted at property 13123, posted at City Hall 13123.
Good morning, Special Magistrate. Inspector David Sandiford presenting case for Senior Inspector Gail Williams for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Presenting case CE 22100615, address 3629 Southwest 14th Street. Property was cited on October 18th, 2022 for the following violations. 9-305B, the landscaping is not being maintained. There is missing ground cover. 47-20.20.h. There are parking facilities that are not maintained at this property. The parking surface needs to be resealed and restriped. There are some missing wheel stops and need to be repainted. 9-304B, there are vehicles parked on the grass lawn area. 18-12A, there is overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on the property and or its swale. An inspection report was posted on the property and copy mailed to owner listed in BCPA via first class mail. A pre-hearing inspection was conducted on February 13th, 2023 and found violations. 9-305B, 47-20.20.h, 9-304B, and 18-12A remains as depicted in the photos. City is requesting 10 days for violation 18-12A and 35 days for violations 47-20.20.h, 9-305B, and 9-305B to comply or a daily fine of $100 per day thereafter per violation.
For each violation, all four.
Yes.
Okay, so ordered.
Thank you.
Another newbie. Well done, well done.
Next case is on page 7, Senior Inspector Dorian Kaloyan, case number CE 22120836, property address 1101 Northwest 7th Ave, owner MPBX LLC, posted at property January 30th, 2023, posted at City Hall January 31st, 2023.
Good morning again. Senior Inspector Kaloyan for the City of Fort Lauderdale, case number CE 22120836, address 1101 Northwest 7th Avenue. This property was first inspected by Senior Inspector Garcia and on 12/31/2022, and the following violations were found. 24/7B has been complied. 1812A, there's overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on the property and or its swale. 47-21.11.d has been complied. 9305A has been complied. 9308B, there is debris, trash, or another element which is not permanent on the roof. And 9305B, the landscape of this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance, and there's areas of dead and missing ground cover. I conducted a pre-hearing inspection yesterday on February 13th, 2023, and the violations remain as depicted in the photos for the record. The city is requesting 10 days to come into compliance for violation 1812A, or a fine in the amount of $50 a day thereafter. And then the city is also requesting 35 days to comply for the remaining violations, or a fine of $50 a day per violation thereafter.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Next case on page 8, Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. with Supervisor Julio Davila presenting case number CE 22110015. Property address 868 Northwest 17th Ave. Owner Boldlock Investments 1 LLC. Posted at property 11723, posted at City Hall 13123.
Julio Davila, Co-Compliance Supervisor, presenting on behalf of Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. for the City of Fort Lauderdale. In reference to the aforementioned property and case, this property was first inspected on 11/2/22 by Senior Inspector Garcia, and the following violations were observed. 47-31.1.8.1 complied, 18-12 subsection A complied, 9-304 subsection B, there are vehicles improperly parked on the property. The vehicles were observed parked over a dirt area on the side of the property. This is a recurring violation of previous case number CE 19010484. 9-304 subsection B, the landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. This is a recurring violation of previous case number CE 19010484. Inspection report was mailed out to the owner listed on BCPA records. The property was brought into compliance as of 2/6/2023. There has been some communication with the property manager who complied the violations once he became aware. At this point, what we're seeking for is a finding of fact adjudication of the violations for potential future repeat violations should they occur.
For both the remaining violations, findings of fact.
Yes, sir.
So ordered.
Next case on page 10, Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. with Supervisor Julio Davila presenting case number CE 22100627, property address 1770 Northwest 25th Ave, owner Ann B. McGowan Estate, posted at property 11823, posted at City Hall 13123.
Julio Davila, Co-Compliance Supervisor for the City of Fort Lauderdale, on behalf of Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. for the aforementioned case and property. This property was first inspected on October 17, 2022, and the following violations were observed. 9-306, structural parts including fascia and soffits are in disrepair and have not been suitably protected from the elements. There are areas of the exteriors that have stains and missing peeling paint. 9-305 subsection B, the landscape at this property and swale is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. 9-304 subsection B, the driveway at this property is not being maintained as required. It has surface cracks, damaged sections, and is stained and dirty. 18-4 subsection C has complied. An inspection report was mailed out to the owner listed on BCPA records on October 17, 2022. There's been no communication with the owner or anyone representing the property. At this time, we're requesting 28 days to comply or a fine of $50 per day for each violation thereafter.
So ordered.
Next case on
Please.
So ordered as well.
the next case on page 11, Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. with Supervisor Julio Davila presenting case number CE 22100685, property address 715 Northwest 14th Way, owner Emmanuel Church of God in Christ, posted at property 11223, posted at City Hall 13123.
Julio Davila, Co-Compliance Supervisor, on behalf of Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr., presenting this case, the aforementioned case and property on behalf of the city. Property was first inspected on October 18, 2022, and the following violations were observed. 18-12 subsection A has complied. 9-306, the exterior building walls have not been maintained. Structural parts including fascia and soffits areas and as well as areas of the exterior have stains and missing peeling paint. 47-21.11.a. The landscape at this property and swale is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. 47-20.20.h. There are parking facilities that are not being maintained at this property. There are surface cracks, potholes, faded striping, as well as broken and loose and missing wheel stops. An inspection report was posted to the property and mailed out to the owner on BCPA records on October 18th, 2022. Mr. Quintero was recently contacted by the property representative, who recently became aware of the violations and explained that work is now being started to correct the issues that remain. The city is requesting 28 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day per each violation thereafter.
So ordered.
Next case on page 13, Inspector Rafael Santos, case number CE 2208-0509, property address 619 Southeast 13th Street, owner Coastline Shores LLC, posted at property 11823, posted at City Hall 13123.
Rafael Santos for the City of Fort Lauderdale, case number CE 2208-0509, address 619 Southeast 13th Street. I inspected a property on August 18th, 2022, and the following violation were observed. Violation 9-306, the exterior building walls have not been maintained. Structural parts included fascia soffits are dirty and need pressure washing and painting. There are areas of the exterior that have stains and missing peeling paint. Code section 9-278E, that is complied. An inspection report was issued on August 18th, 2022. I re-inspected the property on 9/1/22, on 9/23/22, on November 18th, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted January 18th, 2023. Pre-hearing inspection was performed on February 12th, 2023. The violation remains as depicted in the photos. The city is requesting 35 days and a fine of $25 thereafter.
So ordered.
Next case on page 16, Inspector Rafael Santos, case number CE 22100781, property address 401 Southeast 20th Street, units 1 through 4, owner 401 Southeast 20th Street LLC, posted at property 11823, posted at City Hall 13123.
Rafael Santos for the City of Fort Lauderdale, KCE 22100781, address 401 Southeast 20th Street. I inspected the property on October 21st, 2022, and the following violation was observed. 47-20.20.h. There are parking facilities that are not being maintained at this property. The parking facilities need to be black sealed, has potholes, wheel stops are not maintained, and the parking spaces need to be restriped. An inspection report was issued on October 21st, 2022. I re-inspected the property on December 1st, 2022, December 28th, 2022. A notice of hearing was posted on January 18th, 2023. Pre-hearing inspection on February 12th, 2023. The violation remains as depicted on the photos. No contact has been made. The city is requesting 28 days and $50 thereafter.
So ordered.
We will now recall the case on page 11, case number CE 221-00685, property address 715 Northwest 14th Way, owner Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. with Supervisor Julio Davila presenting.
Yes, my apologies. I meant to request, as far as the order, 63 days for compliance.
Amended as requested, so ordered.
Thank you, sir.
Next case is on page 18, Inspector Diego Santos, case number CE 2209-0168, property address 2080 Southwest 27th Ave, owner Lori Vasallo, posted at property 12323, posted at City Hall 13123.
Inspector Diego Santos, represent the City of Fort Lauderdale, case CE 2209-0168, property located at 2080 Southwest 27th Avenue. October 8, I conducted the initial inspection of the property and found the following violations. 9-308A, the roof not maintained. There are multiple broken and missing roof tiles. The roof is not in good repair and is not weatherproof or watertight. 9-306, the exterior maintenance. The exterior building walls had not been maintained. Structure parts, including fascia and softs, are in disrepair. There are areas of the exterior that have stains and missing peeling paint. 9-280 H1, the fence and wall and the fence in the property and at the back of this property is in disrepair and is not being maintained as required. The fence is rotten with mildew, has vegetation growing on the fence, leaning and falling apart. 9-278E, the room ventilation and the screen requirements. There are hurricane shutters covering 4 windows on this occupied residence property. As February 12th, the property remains in violation for everything listed. At this moment, the city is requesting 63 days for the property to come into compliance or face a fine of $25 per day per violation thereafter.
So ordered.
Next case on page 19, Inspector Diego Santos, case number CE 22101-053. Property address 2248 Southwest 14th Court. Owner HPA Borrower 2016-1 LLC. Posted at property 12323. Posted at City Hall 13123.
Inspector Diego Santos, representative of the City of Lauderdale, presenting case in CE 22101053, property located at 2248 Southwest 14th Court. On November 2nd, I inspected the initial inspection and I found the following violations. 18-12A was complied. 9-305B, the landscape maintenance. The landscape of this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of datting and missing ground cover in the swell area. 9-304B, the driveway maintenance. The driveway study has stains and weeds are growing through it. The driveway surface. 9-306, the exterior maintenance. The exterior building walls has not been maintained. Structural parts, including fascia, softs, and areas of the exterior have stain and missing peeling paint. 9-280 H1, the fence in the back of this property is in disrepair and is not being maintained as required. The fence is rotten with mildew, has vegetation growing on the fence and leaning, falling apart against the neighbor's property. As of February 12th, all 4 violations still remain. At the moment, the city is requesting 63 days for the property owner to come to compliance or face a fine of $25 per day per violation thereafter.
So ordered.
It's what? Oh, yeah. Your Honor, perhaps we could entertain a shorter period of time and a higher fine.
That's fine by me.
Higher fine?
I would
Shorter
say
period
a
to comply.
shorter period of time. So 35 days to comply?
35? Okay.
35 days to comply and a fine of $100 a day
$100
per
a day.
violation.
Okay.
So ordered. As
Also
amended.
noting that they haven't bothered to show up at the hearings.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was no communication whatsoever.
So this is several people, they own several properties? Okay.
Next case on page 22, Inspector Diego Santos, case number CE 2208-0232. Property address 801 Southwest 24th Ave. Owner Guillemar and Mir Holdings LLC. Posted at property 12723, posted at City Hall 13123.
Inspector Diego Santos, representative City of Lauderdale, presenting case CE 22080232, property located at 801 Southwest 24th Avenue. On August 2022, I inspected the property and I found the following violations. 18-12A was complied. 9-305B, landscape maintenance. The landscaping of this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover inside and in the back of the property, as well in the swell area. 9-304B was complied. 9-306 was complied. I be in communication with the property owner. They being the reason for the time is they were being renovating the property. They concluded the renovation, and then I agreed to give her 35 days to bring the property to compliance for 9-305B. And after the 35 days, if the property owner doesn't come into compliance, there will be a fine of $25 per day thereafter.
So ordered.
The next case on page 25, Inspector Diego Santos, case number CE 221-00730. Excuse me, we'll be calling on the bottom of page 23. Inspector Diego Santos, case number CE 221-00134. Property address 700 Southwest 24th Ave. Owner Mohammed Abdul Martin and Parveen Matin. Posted at property 12323, posted at City Hall 13123.
Inspector Diego Santos represented the city of Fort Lauderdale, presenting cases CE 22100134, property located at 700 Southwest 24th Avenue. On October 19, 2022, I inspected the property and I found that the following violations. 18-12A was complied. 9-305B, the landscape maintenance. The landscape of this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover in the swell and in the front of the property. 9-304B, the driveway maintenance. The driveway on this property has not been maintained. There are cracks in the concrete, weeds are growing through it, the driveway. There are missing gravel in the entrance and the exit of the swell area. As of February 12th, those two violations still remained. There were no communication with the property owner. At this time, the city is requesting 35 days for the property owner to come into compliance or face a fine of $25 per day thereafter per violation.
So ordered.
Next case on page 25, case number CE 221-00730. Property address 2661 Southwest 7th Street. Owner Lizette Real and Jose Real. Inspector Diego Santos, posted at property 12323, posted at City Hall 13123.
Inspector Diego Santos represented the city of Fort Lauderdale, presenting case CE 22100730, property located at 2661 Southwest 7th Street. On October 21st, 2022, I inspected the property and I found the following violations. 18-12A, which was complied. 9-305B, landscape maintenance. The landscape of this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover on both sides of the property and in the swell area. 47-341A1 complied. 9-304B, the driveway maintenance. There are two vehicles parked on the grass in the lower area, and a gray Toyota Corolla and a silver Honda Accord. 24-27B was complied. I'm in communication with the property owner, and the city agreed to give 35 days for the property owner to come into compliance or face a fine of $25 per day per violation thereafter.
So ordered.
What was that again? What was the amount?
The amount $25 per violation.
Or? 25?
35 days.
$25 per violation.
Okay. And 9-304B, is that complied?
9-304B is still not complied.
It is not complied.
No, still not complied.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next case on page 30. Inspector Manny Garcia with Supervisor Stephanie Bass presenting case number CE 22120636, property address 2627 North Atlantic Boulevard. Owner Natasha Umlove Trust with Natasha Umlove trustee, first cited December 24th, 2022 to comply by December 27th, 2022. One section is complied at $200 a day. A total of $200 has accrued. The city requests the full amount, and the appeal deadline was January 8th, 2023, and no appeal was received.
Appeal was received. It was. Your Honor, Supervisor Stephanie Bass for the city of Fort Lauderdale. I want to correct that. That appeal was received. The reason why this is before you today is, first of all, I'll read the case again. CE 22120-636, the property at 2627 North Atlantic Boulevard. The property was cited for 9-305A for overgrowth of landscaping material encroaching upon the public right-of-way and obstructing the view of traffic, which was a stop sign. We received this complaint from one of our other departments within the city, and the city went out and addressed it and found that it was a violation. They did not comply in a timely manner. Therefore, it accrued a fine of $200 for being out of compliance for 1 day. The reason it's before you is because the property owner was giving already one extension wherein she couldn't make the last magistrate hearing, so therefore we rescheduled it for this hearing. Now the owner is asked us again for today to not reschedule it for this hearing, to postpone it to a later hearing, telling us that she cannot come back in town time enough to make this hearing. So we made the decision that we would bring it before you, Magistrate, and make the decision as to whether or not this should be extended yet again for another hearing when we've already given her 2 extensions for a hearing.
The answer is no.
Okay. So at this time, we'll ask for the
Stop sign is
200.
visible, right?
Yes.
So it's just for a $200 fine.
Yeah, that's correct. So
we're
we'll
not
ask for the $200.
I'll continue this
fine.
again.
Okay.
It doesn't warrant it,
Sorry?
and plus 75 for the fee?
And the $75 administration.
Okay, yes, those will both be ordered.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You and your honor. You honor. I'm telling you, somebody's going to jail for this.
Next case on page 31, case number CE 22120828, property address 2649 Middle River Drive, units 1 through 3. Owner 2649 Postal LLC, Inspector Leonard Champagne. First cited January 4th, 2023 to comply by January 19th, 2023. One section is complied at $200 a day. A total of $800 has accrued, and the city requests the full amount. The appeal deadline was January 19th, 2023, and no appeal was received.
Okay, this shows 5,200 is due, is that wrong?
Yes, that's wrong. It's $800.
800, okay,
The case complied on January 24th,
okay,
2023.
okay. Is he presenting or what?
This is a citation, so there's not any.
Just make a ruling on it?
Correct, yes.
Okay, I find the violation.
So do you want to impose the 800?
Yes, impose 800.
Okay, next case, also on page 31, case number CE 2208-0471, property address 2540 Northwest 19th Street, owner Divine Touch Investments LLC, Investments Inc., Inspector Gail Williams. First heard November 9th, 2022 to comply by January 4th, 2023. One section not complied at $50 a day. A total of $2,050 has accrued. The city requests the full amount and fines continue to accrue.
And this is imposition of fine again?
Correct. We're, the city is requesting to impose the fines of $2,050.
So imposed.
Next case on page 32, case number CE 2208-0901, property address 810 Southeast 16th Street, owner Eclipse Decathlon Harbor Beach LLC, in care of Formation Capital Asset. Inspector Bernstein Sambert. First heard December 13, 2022 to comply by January 10, 2023. Two sections are complied at $50 a day. A total of $3,400 has accrued. The city requests the full amount to be imposed.
So imposed.
Next case, on page 34, case number CE 22120662, property address 911 Southwest 11th Ave, owner Knobs Marina, Inc., Inspector Manny Garcia. First cited December 23rd, 2023, to comply by December 26, 2022. One section is not complied at $150 a day. A total of $7,500 has accrued.
Imposed.
The fines continue to accrue. The appeal deadline was January 6, 2023, and no appeal was received. The city requests the full amount.
So imposed.
Next case, also on page 34, case number CE 22120401, property address 804 Northwest 19th Street, owner Edgar Malone, Inspector Pat Gavin. First cited 12/28/2022 to comply by January 11, 2023. One section is complied at $200 a day. A total of $4,200 has accrued. The city requests the full amount. The appeal deadline was January 11, 2023, and no appeal was received.
Imposed.
Next case on page 35, case number CE 22120554, property address 1032 Northwest 8th Ave, owner Jack Acombe and Lawrence Acombe, Inspector Paulette Del Grasso. First are cited December 21st, 2022 to comply by January 11, 2023. One section not complied at $150 a day. A total of $5,100 has accrued. The city requests the full amount and fines continue to accrue. The appeal deadline was January 5th, 2023, and no appeal was received. This is a citation.
Imposed.
Next case also on page 35, case number CE 22110666, property address 430 Northeast 9th Ave, owner Libby Kensley, in care of Robert Kensley, Inspector Dorian Colonian. First cited December 13, 2022 to comply by December 28, 2022. One section is complied at $250 a day. A total of $250 has accrued. The city requests the full amount. The appeal deadline was December 28, 2022, and no appeal was received.
Imposed.
Next case, also on page 35, case number CE 22050780, property address 3212 Northeast 38th Street, owner Fremont American Family Trust, with Joanne LeBruc as the trustee. The city requests to vacate the final order of December 13, 2022.
So ordered.
Next case on page 36, case number CE 22070530, property address 1070 Northwest 23rd Road, owner Monona Hines Estate, in care of Dorothy H. Holmes, Inspector Karen Proto. First heard November 9th, 2022 to comply by December 7th, 2022. 8 sections are not complied at $50 a day. A total of $27,600 has accrued. The city requests the full amount and fines continue to accrue.
So imposed.
Next case on page 39, case number CE 22070374, property address 204 Southwest 24th Ave, owner Rashard Gaskin, Rose Gaskin and Rose Gaskin Estate, Inspector Diego Santos. First heard October 27, 2022 to comply by December 29, 2022. 4 sections are not complied at $25 a day. A total of $4,400 has accrued, and the city requests the full amount and fines continue to accrue.
So ordered.
That's it, right? Okay, so the city is requesting to enter pages 50 and 51 into today's hearing as an exhibit. This list includes the complied, closed, withdrawn, and rescheduled cases.
Okay, that's accepted.
This concludes the special magistrate hearing for February 14, 2023.
All right, folks. Happy Valentine's Day.